So you're thinking about moving to Sacramento and you're searching for videos to give you a little bit of information about the Sacramento area, whether it's Elk Grove, Roseville, El Dorado Hills. And guys, there are some pretty amazing videos out there. But guess what? They're all pretty much irrelevant unless you plan on going in a time machine and moving into the Sacramento area in 2025. This is the live show we do every single Wednesday where we break down the market in real time. This is the show you should be watching if you're thinking about moving into the Sacramento area within the next couple months. Guys, this is the show. So let's get into it. Let's talk a little bit about the market. It's January 2026. How is this year shaping up? Is January a good month? Is February going to be a better month? Let's talk a little bit about it right now. All right, what's up, guys? Tonight I got Corey McKinney on the show, and we're talking a little Sacramento. Corey, what's up, man?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Everyone's living the dream, man. Living the dream here in
I
Sacramento.
bet.
All right, first, glad you're 100% this year. Thank you so much for showing up. Pamela, good evening to you too. There you go. Hi, Dad. Guys, we're going to have a fun show tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Sacramento. I've been seeing a lot of YouTube videos these days, and they've been given like doom and gloom about Sacramento. Yeah, it's just like all this stuff coming in. And for me, honestly, I love Sacramento. Yeah, the market's a little cold, but it's kind of always cold this time of year. And I don't see it being this like crazy thing that Chicken Little is grabbing the ceilings. I think a lot of people are doing stuff for more views and for more thumbnails and everything too, where I think our market's just, we're doing what we do. I think people are selling, people are buying, people are moving, maybe not as much, but guys, it is January. It is pretty cold outside. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I will say for me personally, the last, let's say January is almost over. The last 45 days have been busier for me than the past 2 or 3 months of 2025. So it's kind of starting off with a bang, um, and I've heard that from other agents too, and I've heard from some escrow people and title people that they are just extremely slow. So it's kind of, like Sacramento Appraisal Blog, he talks about the market kind of being a hot pocket right out of the microwave, sort of hot parts, cold parts, kind of all inside. And I'm kind of seeing that from my colleagues.
Yeah, but here's the thing though too. I mean, you're seeing it kind of from some people, but I mean, there's other people that are running around like crazy. I think he's a little a really good guy too, but I think he's a little bit like Chicken Little running around saying the sky's falling here as well too. Because for me, we're busy. We're putting people in contract with new homes. We're showing homes. I mean, today was absolutely insane. Went to Elk Grove, Sierra Oaks, went downtown, saw this new Beezer community with our friend Lacey over there too. I mean, it just, I mean, for us, it's been kind of crazy. It was a good year last year. And this year, I think we're, as far as I know, like things are moving. People are buying homes, and there's some good communities people are buying into. Good incentives still. We're negotiating some good deals in the resale market as well too, getting some people like some good seller credit. So I don't know. I don't have that kind of like that freaking out. Like, and
Yeah,
I've seen
I agree.
videos, man. People are like, oh no, what am I gonna do? Life after real estate, it's crazy, and I'm like. I don't feel it, I just don't, I don't think it's there, I could be wrong, probably not. So I don't know. I mean, are you like, for you, Mr. like show 1,000 homes in one day, how are you doing? Are you chilling? Are you vacationing, kicking the feet up, or how's your market going?
No, it's grind time right now for me. The tail end of December, it really winds down, things start slowing down. So that was kind of my time to spend with family and do stuff, take some trips here and there. During spring and summertime, that's where I do a lot of camping trips. So right now is kind of my go time. Really set the year, right business wise, and get all the clients that want to get prepped for the spring, summertime, the hot time of the market, ready to go. Those clients that were kind of wanting to hold off towards the tail end of last year are all ramping up now. I'm kind of in this cycle where when I started doing commercial real estate, I got a bunch of clients into leases, and now those leases are coming to maturity, and now they need to either, expand their space, renegotiate their space, or move to a new space. So I have a bunch of commercial leasing clients that are all their leases are all coming due, and we need to get them into new spots. So it's all kind of compounding, um, and yeah, moving fast.
All right.
And
We got
I'm
Tatiana.
seeing some great inventory coming on, and like you had mentioned before, you're still able to get those really good seller credits, and then combine that with some fresh inventory coming on the market. It's a great time for buyers to strike.
I think so. I mean, especially, time your life, don't time the market. But if you are going, you can get a nice seller credit, buy down your rate if you want to. We got Tatiana. Good evening, everybody. You finally have time for your wonderful show. Tatiana, welcome to the show. Happy New Year's. Well, too. Hopefully you're having a fantastic 2026 so far. I think for me, it's like, I think there's a lot of realtors out there who maybe aren't as creative, but we've been able to like negotiate seller credits. We've been able to like we put someone in a house in West Roseville that just because of timing, we got him in like $80,000 below list price, because
Wow.
he was willing to like trust us and let us do our thing. And so I think that, there are things out there. Like, here's the thing. If you see homes and you're saying to yourself, because a lot of people are seeing the homes right now, people are, they're overpriced and there's just no way and everything too. That price is kind of like, especially if they've been on the market a while, that's like, you might be able to get that thing lower. I've been able to negotiate stuff for our clients straight up. We've been able to just do this stuff. And I know Corey has too. So if you see a price and you go, oh man, these sellers, they're still listing their homes at a huge high price. Like, guys, work with the right team that can kind of get you in and negotiate a price. I say this market also is a fall in like, don't fall in love market. What do you think?
100%. I would keep your eye close on those properties that have reduced a couple times or maybe have come back on market. Like you said, I had a client that was watching this property in El Dorado Hills, and it 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 went pending, after a long time on market. Finally went pending. It had already fallen out of escrow once. We kept our eye on it, stayed in contact with the agent, and sure enough, they ended up falling out of escrow again. We got it under contract 30,000 less than what they were in previously, and it started at a million two. They reduced down to like a million 95. We got it at uh, into the high nines, and he ended up appraising $100,000 over what we got it at our purchase price. Got a bunch of stuff included on that, got a credit on it, so it turned out to be just a killer deal for him. But if we weren't paying attention to the market, somebody else would have swooped on that really quickly. But kind of kept our eye on the ball, stayed in contact with the agent, watched it closely. The second it fell out, we already had an offer in, and that paying attention to the market is really where you get the best deals, I would say, for anybody.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I agree with you 100%. Knowing the market and just also don't be afraid to put in a low offer. It might surprise you. If you have the
Mhm.
right realtor, they can reach out to the listing agent, figure out pain points and make it happy for you and make it all good. I will say one thing though, just generally speaking, we've been saying this on this channel for a long, long time, but a lot of people have just recently announced this stuff and we've been talking about it, guys, on this channel. You guys, we everyone knows on this channel we've been talking about how last year around this time it was crazy popping before the Super Bowl. Things were gangbusters, and it was just nuts. And it's. I mean, this year it isn't. And I think a lot of people forgot how good it was last year during the beginning of the year because I've been seeing people announce like, "Oh man, it wasn't like last year. Last year was crazy." Yeah, I mean, it was kind of obvious, like it was a crazy market at the beginning of last year. Inventory is up right now. I think buyers are. I think the word should be hesitant right now. I think a lot of buyers are hesitant. They're thinking to themselves, "I want this house, but do I want this house?" I think you're seeing a lot of buyers just kind of and I get it. I get it coming from a buyer standpoint when you hear about all this economic news, all this kind of stuff that's happening, and everything too. A lot of people are wondering, are prices going to drop? Are rates going to drop? Am I going to be the one holding what is a hot potato, the potato at the end or whatever? Like I think people are kind of nervous about that right now too, and the economy kind of fuels that. So I think buyer sentiment is I'll buy if I have to, but if I buy something, I really want to make sure that I'm making the right decision. I think there's some markets with like when it's like a seller's market where people are just like, I want to get something. I think this market, you're seeing people be very cautious, crunch numbers, figure out what works. but really thinking it through and not feeling that pressure to buy right now, or else they're going to miss the deal of the century. You know what I mean, Corey?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I have some clients that are like that. I've noticed with a lot of my buyers, they're doing a lot more due diligence. They want a lot more information on the home. They want to do more inspections than what we would typically do, and it really analyze the property to see if this is a good fit. And I think that's going to start filtering out some of the agents in the market that are not willing or capable or knowledgeable in order to take on that extra need from buyers that are wanting more information. And you got to be able to supply that or get that information and kind of work through those things. It might take a little longer. It might be a little frustrating at times because you solve three or four problems and then two or more issues pop up. But if you can just hold on, be patient, and work through those things together, you're gonna end up in a good situation. Excuse me, a good situation, and be able to have a property you're really happy with and know that you did a really thorough job analyzing it before you committed.
Nah, agreed, agreed. All right, so we got Jason who says, "Did you find out any more about Shawwood Loomis and where in Lincoln they're going to build?" I'm actually heading up around 10 o'clock to meet with Cameron up at Shawwood tomorrow. So if I find out some information, I might post it on like the posting area too. So stay tuned for that this weekend. Whatever I find, I'll give you a complete update next Wednesday. And Jason says the trick is to write the under asking price, offer concessions before they do the price drop. Yeah, and that's a trick too. Like for us, for example, like if we have a listing and we're going to be doing a price drop, what we will do is we'll actually court. I'll use a term from my generation. We'll court all the people that had interest in the house before and basically kind of chum the waters a little bit and just say, hey, look, we're going to be doing a price drop tomorrow. If you want to beat the crowds, like, and you still have interest, this is something that you might be interested in doing. And we had luck with that with a Folsom house as well too. So that's definitely good play. I think also, at least for us, I think a lot of buyers agents don't really reach out to listing agents to figure out what the seller's pain points are. Every seller's got a pain point, right? And also, you're going to be able to realize, unless they're a 2.75er who's basically saying, I got a 2.75. If I sell it for $1 million, even if it might not be worth $1 million, like that's what I'm looking for. And you're going to have people who are like, look, my client's already has a house in Tennessee and they just got to get rid of this house and they want to do that right this second. Make us an offer. We're ready to go. You're just going to know it, but you have to have the communication with the listing agent as well too. Now, with the listing agent, also, if their buyer or if their client is in trouble, more than not, they'll tell you because they want to get this thing done. They want to get it, and there's a lot of pressure on it. Not a lot of time for playing games, so you have to kind of dig in deep, and you have to make those calls. A lot of realtors get a little like uncomfortable with those calls as well too. But I mean, guys, that's why you're paying us. Step on up, make the
That's
calls,
it.
and get your clients a beautiful
Yeah,
house. What do you think, Corey? Give us
exactly.
some tricks of the trade for you.
Communication is the most important thing. The most important thing. I just had a client we made an offer with on Monday of this week, and I was told that the agent didn't have any other offers, and I didn't get a response until this morning. And she said, "Hey, we have an offer higher than yours." And I said, "Well, gosh, I wish I would have gotten the phone call because we're willing to compete. The house is priced pretty low. We're willing to go up, and we feel confident it'll still appraise at even a over asking offer price." But without her telling me that, or without the listing agent telling me that, I would have never known or had the opportunity. And so I spoke to my clients right away, talked to them about the other competing offer, where it's at or where we assume it's at based on some details the agent gave me. And we were able to get an offer in really quickly, made an adjustment to ours, increasing the price significantly, but still within a comfort range of our clients, and we're gonna put that property under contract now. So without that communication, deals can easily be lost. And I do the same thing you do, where if I have a price drop coming up, ping all the other agents, and you'll be shocked. Sometimes an agent will be so surprised that you're willing to accept like $5,000 less than asking, and I'm like, "What? Well, you should have written that offer if you were
Yeah.
considering that, and you thought your clients would do that." they're talking about two different houses because one asking price is 5 grand lower than ours. Write that offer that you're comfortable at on the higher priced home, and you'll be surprised at what you find. I personally grew up buying stuff off Craigslist, and I flipped cars for a long time before I got into real estate. And I just learned that you'll be so shocked at what people will be willing to take if you just put it out there. And if they say no, they say no. You can always come up. You can always adjust your offer from there. But you'll be shocked at how many people say yes right off the bat and want to. It's more it's simpler for them to just agree and move on from the transaction than it is to fight or haggle or negotiate or sit on market for even longer. So, shoot your shot. You got to try it.
Totally with you. Hey guys, if you're enjoying the broadcast, smash that like button. Also, we're going to pivot right now into Sacramento, and we're going to talk about all those things that no jump cuts, no anything. We're just going to be unfiltered as far as it goes. Corey came in from SoCal to Sacramento long time, many moons ago. I made the trek here from the Bay Area as well too. Two of the markets that a lot of people move in from. I want to go through some of these things. I wrote down, I did my homework just for you guys. And I want to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what to expect if you're jumping into Sacramento. And here I'll give you first like a little bit of a breakdown for me. Like a lot of people say, I want to move to Sacramento. Normally what they mean or what I find is they say, I want to move to the Sacramento area, but I want to move to Folsom. I want to move to Roseville. I want to move to Loomis. I want to move to Grand Bay. Some people go Sacramento proper. But one thing about our market specifically is that Roseville, Folsom, Elk Grove, even, those are considered part of the Sacramento metro. People will disagree, and I get it. Everyone's got their opinion. But the calls that I get are people saying, I got to move to Sacramento, or I'm moving to Sacramento. And I'm thinking about maybe these three locations. What do you think? And then of course we'll spice it up with a few more. So Sacramento suburbs are very strong. Now, one thing about Sacramento is that, if you live in Folsom, you're not going to know too much about Sacramento proper. You'll know where it is, but you might not go downtown. We stay in our little kind of like areas. If that's some of, you'll trek maybe to Roseville now and again to do shopping, but you kind of stay in your area. Don't you agree, Corey?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially on like where your work location is. I mean, for me, my location's like 3 different counties wide, but for the
Yeah.
most part, I have my home base office at home, and if I'm not working in my office, I'm sticking around, the 3, 4 miles around my house most of the time, for my daily needs and for my kind of family outings and family activities. We stick to our area for the most part. We always have those times where we go to downtown or go out to Roseville, or I'm in El Dorado County, so for Roseville for me is a little bit farther, but those locations they have their attractions that you can't get them anywhere else in the area, so you travel to those spaces. But I agree, most of the time we're in our local community majority of the time.
Now, I've nailed it down because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, it's kind of weird because, like, in the Bay Area, right? Everyone's always going everywhere in the Bay Area. I go in here and everything too. Now, in the Bay Area, you're going to have more one off places, like little supermarket that specializes here and there and everything too. In Sacramento, we have a lot of redundancies. For example, for me, a lot of my outings deal with shopping, right? Everyone goes shopping, everyone's buying food and everything too. So it's like I'll look at my GPS and go, okay, for Gold River, I'll say, oh, there's a Trader Joe's in Citrus Heights, there's a Trader Joe's in Folsom. Those are pretty like close to where I need to be. Which one I'm going to choose? Would I ever go to like Trader Joe's in Roseville? Maybe if I was in Roseville, but for the most part, I'm going to stick local. So I'm going to stay somewhere pretty close because I don't want to deal with the 50. I don't want to deal with the roads. I just don't want to deal with that stuff. I'd rather go really close. And so you're going to have a lot of redundant type of stores like the Nuggets, the Trader Joe's, Costco's and everything too. I mean, we have maybe 10 Costco's in Sacramento County, more in Placer. So it's more about that. Like, your stores, your Costco's, your Home Depots, you're like, oh, hey, you know what? I go like, what's called Mountain Mike's Pizza over here. And so there's a lot of redundancies. Now and again, you'll run into a restaurant, maybe somewhere downtown, like Thai Basil, where it's like a one-off and you're, oh, I can't wait to go down there. But at
Yeah.
times you'll look at the traffic. You'll look at the, parking situation, which is not bad compared to other areas, and you'll be like, "You know what? I'm just gonna use, like, Grubhub or whatever, get me that," and just I don't wanna just deal with that. So, that's kinda what I mean by people stick around their areas. It's not like, "Oh, we don't like Roseville," or anything too. You'll go to Roseville for maybe, like, I need a new iPhone. I'm gonna go to the Apple Store. I wanna do that. I wanna go over there, or Louis
Mhm.
Vuitton's over there, so I wanna check it out. And people in Roseville might come to Folsom because 'cause they're like, "Oh, we wanna go to Folsom Lake. We're looking to do that," or, "We're looking for something specific in Folsom." And downtown, I mean, you'll go down there now and again. It'll be like, Michelin star restaurant, taking someone out for a dinner or maybe a business meeting or something like this. But a lot of people stay away from downtown just because of traffic, just a little congestion. Because the difference between suburb living, which is like 90% of Sacramento, and not non-suburb living is just such a drastic change that we're used to our pools, our barbecues, our big, huge roads that we can just drive on, and getting into like the thick of things in the traffic and those streets and everything too. It's just not a really fun thing for a lot of people. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, if you can do everything you need to do without the travel and the hassle, especially traveling through or to more congested areas than where you live, then it makes you want to kind of stick to the local spots or find the new local restaurant in your area versus going to the the new hot spot in downtown. So there are, like you said, there's always those destination spots, and those are fun outings to get to learn the area, meet new people, get out there. But for the most part, yeah, I love kind of growing my community base around where I live. You have a lot in common. You realize you meet somebody at a store or something, and shoot, you live three houses down from each other. It's fun to build that community and know the people who are living in your area. But yeah, the Sacramento, like you said, it's building out so much and infilling in spaces that need the shops or restaurants in such a good way, like a wholesome way, I would say. There's
Yeah.
diversity there. There's economic growth. It feels very centralized and local, but it feels like you can, if you want to get out and explore a new area, there's plenty of that to do with multiple. I've lived here for 6.5 years now, and I feel like I know the area very well for somebody who didn't grow up in the area, just from showing houses and properties in every different locale. But um, yeah, you could really. There's so much more to explore. I feel like there's so much more I could do here. I don't feel bored. I don't feel lacking in any way, really.
Well, I think also the thing is like we love our homes. I think in Sacramento, a lot of us are homebodies. We like our homes. We like our Netflix. We like our barbecues. We like hanging out and gathering at our homes. I noticed when I lived in the Bay and I lived in like in that area, like I had a small apartment, or small, it was relatively pretty big, but compared to Sacramento, it was tiny. So, and for me, I'd go stir crazy. I didn't have that. There was not a lot of space,
Right.
and I was just like, I got to go for a walk. I got to go here. I got to
Right.
do this. I didn't have that big kitchen where I could like cook something. I just didn't have that. So for me, I was always out the door. What I find in Sacramento is a lot of us like to bring the party in home at home. We like to bring people over. We like to have the barbecues. We like to entertain. We love our homes. And like I said before, Sacramento is such a suburban kind of vibe that you're going to be like, do I go? Do I get dressed up real nice, go to a nice five-star restaurant downtown in Sacramento, or do I pick up a couple ribeyes, throw them on the grill, hang out with the kids here, and after a long week, which one is winning? Which one is winning? And like,
Right.
it's kind of a no-brainer for a lot of us. I mean, we like our home space. We like to entertain. We like to, relax, veg, and I mean, if Corey and I were like we're getting together, he'd be fighting to have it at his house. I'd be fighting to have it at my house because home field advantage. We can just chill. So it's like it's that kind of vibe here in Sacramento. There are things to do out. Don't get me wrong, but for the most part, suburban, entertaining at home, and like bringing the party home. I mean, that's why we have so many Costco's. I mean, it's so funny. I don't think there's anywhere that has more Costco's than we got. And I think it, for the most part, is because, you know, Costco, shopping, bring food home, entertain. We want to be at our houses instead of having, all these like bougie restaurants everywhere. We would like to bring it home. What do you think, Corey?
Oh, I 100% agree. That's, especially if you have kids, family, and in this area, you know, the sizes of the properties are a lot better than, in a more urban space like San Francisco, Los Angeles, you know, uh, some other concentrated city urban environments across the country. Where here, yeah, if you're in downtown, sure. Or if you're close to downtown, sure, you're gonna have smaller lot lines, older homes, tinier lots, things like that. But most of the suburban area surrounding that, they have great property, great backyards, great front yards that you can enjoy that space. And for me, as a LA transplant, most of my young adult life in small apartments, the largest yard.
I think your audio might be out. All right. There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we got you back. Okay, hit it.
Okay. So yeah, when you go the smallest backyard or the largest backyard I ever had living in the LA area was like a 10-foot by 20-foot little patch of grass, and I thought that was incredible when I had it. But
Yeah.
it completely changed everything for me. It was, and I've experienced this with clients when I'm touring homes, and for me, we tour a home with a backyard that I would consider small. I keep my opinions to myself because it's not about me when I'm showing a property; it's about my client. And they'll walk into the backyard and say, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing! It's so much space." And it's for me, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I could barely fit all the stuff I'd want in my backyard back here, or all the stuff I need, the kids' trampoline, the barbecue, all the stuff, the doghouse, like everything you would need back there." And they're like, "Gosh, we could host parties, we can have all of this space." Even to the point I've toured homes that were a yard I would consider small in my mind. They're like, it's too much. It's too much yard. It's
Yeah.
too much maintenance. We want smaller, more manageable. And that just goes to show that what you can get here is above and beyond most locations in California, especially, but also across the nation. And you can really put that space to use. And I will say, the Costco's blowing up. They're the Costco in El Dorado Hills is now in process for environmental review. Which this Costco, if you're not familiar with the area, El Dorado Hills to Folsom, it's about a 2 mile distance from one Costco to the new proposed Costco. And people look at that and think it's absolutely insane, but Costco's not analyze things and realize this demand early on, and just that short distance there, they have enough kind of equity growth in the area to be able to service all of those people, and all of those people are going to be going there. You're not just buying food and food products at Costco either. Now you're going there, you're buying e-bikes, you're buying outdoor play equipment, you're buying wakeboards and stand-up paddle boards and things like that. It's like your big five sporting goods food store combo, and people go there and they buy these things and they want to be able to put them to use, and we're in the perfect spot to be able to do that.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. You can buy like kayaks, you can buy like I could bet buy pool supplies from there and everything too. It's just
Yeah,
I mean, it
ski
really does play
equipment,
for the
like
area.
hiking gear, everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just nuts. And Roseville just got a second Costco. So you got one in West Roseville that just opened up. And like I said, West Roseville is on fire. So we got areas growing, more Costco's coming in. But, I look at it, I think to myself sometimes, if I wasn't a realtor, would I be driving to all these spots? Probably not. I would probably stay kind of like my Folsom, Gold River, Fair Oaks ish kind of area. But if you do come to Sacramento, just understand that it's fun to explore the area. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I like going to Apple Hill, and there's so many like hiking trails, walking trails, mountain biking trails, and everything too. But if you're like me, where you're like trying to binge watch Stranger Things and everything too, like you can also do that. Go to Costco, grab some good food, bring it on home, and bring a whole bunch of people over to watch it. So that's kind of a fun thing for me. Now, let's pivot into weather, because everyone thinks like in Sacramento. I always talk to people, they're like, it's like, I mean, literally, it's December, and people are like, is this still like 120 degrees here in Sacramento? I'm like, you got to stop believing all the hype. I mean, like we got our seasons. We get foliage, we get like rain, we get like everything. Right now, it's cold outside. This right here, I'm wearing a jacket when I go outside. What do you think about hit us? What do you think of your weather during the course of an average year? I mean, because weather changing, all that stuff. What do you think as far as like the months go, as far as weather goes?
Yeah, for me, it's the perfect amount of exposure to seasonal change without it being a burden. You know, yeah, we have hot summers, but those are your perfect lake days, and there's enough bodies of water around where it's not like we're sitting in like a West Texas area where it's completely flat, you're completely baking. There's no bodies of water around, or you're 2 hours away from a body of water. We have multiple lakes. We have the river. You're 2 hours from the beach. You're 2 hours to Lake Tahoe. I mean, there's multiple local lakes, Folsom Lake. I mean, there's all kinds of lakes, north, south, everywhere which way you go. So on those hot days, you get out into the places that are comfortable. And then spring and fall are my favorite seasons here. Where when I grew up in Southern California, it didn't even you didn't even notice a change really. Maybe, peak winter, peak summer, a little hotter,
Yeah.
little colder, but it just kind of felt the same all the time. You had your two jackets that you wore for 20 years. You didn't really have to upgrade, or you maybe got your beanie out once a year. But in here we get to enjoy those. I love my shorts, t-shirt, flip-flop weather. I fully embrace that. That's how I grew up. So I lived that season. And then as we get into fall and you start feeling that chill in the air where you want to bundle up or put on that sweater and long pants and thick socks, and it feels nice. It feels cozy. It feels like we're experiencing the change, but I'm not in 10 feet of snow. I'm not, I'm not having to shovel my driveway or deal with salt on the roads and all of that stuff, not being able to um, get out of a parking spot at your grocery store because you're sliding all over like some of these storms in the East Coast are causing right now. Um, we don't experience those extremes. Sometimes, every location will have their extreme points. Sometimes in the summertime, you'll have those real hot weeks, but those come and go. They go quick, and when it cools back down, it's a very, very comfortable place to live.
No, 100%. Not to mention, here's the thing. The truth of the matter is, guys, and I kid you not, if after we got off the live, I asked Corey, hey, Corey, you want to head up to Tahoe tomorrow? We would be out the door at 7 o'clock. We'd be on the slopes by like, what, 8:30? We'd probably be back by
Hmm.
2 or 3 in the afternoon, do a half day, and then we're back here. So location wise, weather wise, if you want your snow, we got your snow super close by as well, too. So we got that for you. Last night it was raining, which is bizarre to me, but it was. I mean, yeah, we got some good seasons here, guys. I'm going to be, after we're done the show, I'm going to be lighting up my fireplace and enjoying it. So like the weather's good here. If you guys like it, what was it? Sacramento used to be known as City of Trees, and now it's like Fair Oaks. So we got some cool trees, great foliage. East Sacramento area, you got some nice stuff going on there as well too. Greenery, drive through Fair Oaks, Currow Downs, love, love, love it. Gold River, my
Yeah.
hood. You go down here and there's green everywhere, and you got tons of animals, raccoons, skunks, eh, yeah, owls. They got doves in my swimming pool in the morning. It's fairy tale-ish. Can be very much like. All right, so we got Rob here. If you're looking to move to Sac area, I would suggest looking to Folsom, El Dorado Hills, Grant Bay, Roseville, and Rockland. I like your style. All right, so let me think. I would say though the only thing about this is the price point. Folsom, I'd say if you're looking for like a newer home, what do you think? Maybe like 800, if that. And here's the thing,
Yep.
800 competition. Folsom's always hot at that price point. New homes probably about the same thing at this point because no one's really building a lot of new homes. El Dorado, you're higher than that, probably like 859s. Granite Bay, you're
Yep.
probably, it's hard to get in there underneath a mill. Roseville, depending. West Roseville, there's a lot of new homes, so you guys can get in there for probably like, I'd say low sixes and up, which is nice. And West Roseville is like up and coming, is like an understatement. And then I think Rockland too, they have some new home building, but Rockland, I'd say to get in there probably is on par, or it's just, I'd say it's a little bit more pricey than Roseville, but not as pricey as Folsom. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I would say Rockland Homes, like, 750 probably on the lower end plus. Roseville, it's such a larger geographical area than most of these other options there that you have a wider spread on pricing depending on your location. And Roseville is large enough to have some of those pockets of really small older homes that are near like industrial areas that are doesn't have as good of schools as other locations, and location just restaurants and shopping and like that you can get in cheap and have a Roseville address, but it might not be the neighborhood that you want to live in. So if you're just looking kind of like general stats, yeah, you can find properties in Roseville for far cheaper. But for your typical suburban family home, um, I would say that 650 plus. I would agree with you on Granite Bay being a million plus. El Dorado Hills um, has a little bit more, again, geographically larger than El Dorado Hills. They have a really good spread of older homes and newer homes. Some brand new, some built in the early 70s. So depending on where you're at in that area, you can have high or low, obviously depending on condition. But all of these cities that he listed here are great top choices in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, there you got some good ones. I mean, Loomis, throw it in there a little bit as well too. I mean, there's so many choices here, guys. And then if you pivot, like the Pocket, I love the Pocket. Land
Yeah,
Park is nice too. I mean, Arden. I mean, depending on what you want. I mean, that's the thing. And I'm telling you, it's like going to the food court back in high school, and there's like Sabaros, and there's like Chinese food, and you're like, I don't know, they're all kind of good stuff. Depends on what you want. If you want older homes, I mean, we have a listing right now that was built in like, the carriage house was built like in 1920. If you like those kind of homes, we got them in Sacramento as well too. If you want water living and live right on the water, we got those houses as well too. If you want those
yeah,
views, El Dorado, Grant Bay, areas like this. If you want I'm kidding you not, those Robin Leach old school, big old like gated places like Granite Bay. I mean, Eddie Murphy lived there, and there's some really fun houses out there that just are like
yeah,
literally, I mean, Mediterranean on steroids. Like these things are just like, what would someone do with 10,000 square feet on a half acre? And that it's just insane. So like we got everything. You guys, I'm telling you, MTV Cribs, go to Grant Bay. You're gonna see exactly what I mean. And I might have dated myself, but yeah, it is what it is. But we got some good spots, man. We got some good spots. What do you think would be some undercover spots that you'd say like that someone should look
um,
at as far as like
if you're
a little
looking
sneak peek, sneak attacks?
Yeah, if you're looking for, more like grandiose estate type properties, or you want more land farm type properties, get a little bit further east of El Dorado Hills into a Shingle Springs or Cameron Park area. And
Hmm.
I think you commented on my post last week. I toured a 9,000 square foot home on 10 acres in a gated neighborhood it with an HOA, very, very low overhead HOA. It's pretty much to maintain the road, that, but insane value on some of these homes out in those areas. You can have that, big baller estate on a little bit of a lower budget. You do have to deal with.
I think your mic's out. Corey will be back in a sec. Volume's out. What Corey was probably saying is, as far as homeowners insurance, just be aware of that. Some of them are on septic as well out there as well too. So before you do see those homes on Zillow and pull the trigger, there are things like PG&E versus SMUD and homeowners insurance. Right? Is that what you're hitting?
Yeah, did you get me back?
Just as you were going. And one thing they should be aware of is like, oh, perfect timing. It was spoiled. But yeah, you gotta, like you were saying, like there are little gotchas, so just be aware. Because I always throw up Grass Valley, and the first thing I do is I mention Grass Valley, and everyone's like, fire insurance, and I'm like, you got to check all those things too. I mean, but I
Yeah.
mean that's one of the things about the area, right, Corey?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Do you have me back? You can hear me now?
You are back. You are back. Go for it.
Okay. Yeah, and I would say, if you want to get a little bit further away from like the main central hub, look in Placerville. A lot of people ignore Placerville, but there are a ton of amenities. Like if you're living in that Placerville area, you're way closer to Tahoe, but you have a ton of local shops. I mean, downtown Main Street, Placerville is such a cool, amazing, historic place. They have the oldest hardware store on the west of the Mississippi, a lot of history there, but you can still get. I just put a home into contract and we're going to be closing on it here shortly. Five bedroom, three bath home on a third of an acre under $600,000. And it is dialed. It is remodeled. It is ready to go. So if you're looking for, and then it's close to the city. It's walking distance to downtown Main Street, Placerville. So you don't have fire insurance. You're on city septic. So there's a lot of hidden gems here that people might look at it on the map and say, wow, that's way too far out. But go look at it, go see it, go tour it, and see the things around you and see, you know, imagine your life there and see if it's a good fit because you might be shocked.
Yeah, I mean, you go a little further out, you get country living if you feel like it. Another community actually, and this is a good one because I went out to see Beezer's latest community, R21, and it's like these kind of like these amazing homes. I mean, like luxury living in like kind of like the downtownish area. Really, really awesome. And like I mean, literally, yeah, it was just it's so beautiful. They're 3-story homes. And here's the thing, I've seen a lot of 3-story homes or communities try to do 3-story homes that just look cramped, right? These homes, I was blown away by the finishes. I think the location was good. I was like, wow, okay. I was actually very impressed that Beezer did this because Beezer is kind of known for their like, their projects, their community single family home projects. But this is great. And you got all the installation, everything too that Beezer does and everything. So I was really, really blown away by his community. We're gonna go in there and do videos of him as well too for you guys. But if you're looking for something downtown, if you're looking for something bougie, luxury, with like location, 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 if you're that, and you're hearing me talk about suburban living and Costco's, and you're saying like, that's not me, Mark. I want a little nightlife. I want to go out to those Michelin foo restaurants. Like this is gonna be a really, really hot community. So I don't know. It was great. Here's Lacey right here. Speaking of the downtown living, check out. Yeah, let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I got it right here. Hold on. Is that one? Yeah. There we go. We got Lacey right here. R21. I don't know if I could show this Lacey or not, but she gave me a little bit of a sneak peek on it. But these homes are gonna be crazy. If you guys are looking for like townhome-ish kind of living and everything, woo, it's not even like I don't know. It's just it kind of makes me feel like when I was walking in these places, I felt like this is what like living like somewhere like London would be like or New York. You just have that gritty urban like, but really like high end feel to it. They had the semi textured walls as well too, which I like. Soft close everything. I mean, it was just crazy. I can't wait till this place opens up. I mean, we're gonna be the first ones in there doing video tours of it. But if you guys are looking for something downtown, ooh man, and you don't want just you're looking for something. You want something, you're looking for something to compete with like the L Street lofts. You're looking for something like that. These are going to really make a splash in Sacramento. So I'm super excited for these things. What do you think? Do you like the Midtown? If I could go back in time, 32-year-old Mark, that's where I'd probably be, right in one of these homes. How are you?
Yeah. Yeah. I lived in, downtown Santa Monica for a long time. I felt like that type of living is incredible. You get so much bang for buck. And I love that aspect of where you park your car on a weekend after a work week and I am living on foot or on maybe on my bike. And we are
Yeah.
just riding to dinner, walking to every location that we want to go. You meet friends. You don't I'm not hopping in the car fighting parking. Parking might be jam packed down there, but if you live close to those things, you don't have to fight that. You just, you hop on your electric scooter or e-bike and you cruise over and meet friends, you have your dinners and you get to enjoy that local space around you. And yeah, that Midtown area is just on fire. It seems like they keep creating these really cool, attractive, Instagram worthy type spaces. And if you
Yeah.
want to live in a space like that, that is a hub for that.
Oh yeah, with the Kimpton, with the Sawyer fun vibe over there, revival, I think there is, and then the whole downtown kind of area by by the Golden One area too. I mean, it's nice. Can't complain. In those places, I was telling Lacey, man, if I was younger, I would have gone there, bought a place here. I'd be at the Sawyer every night having drinks and having a nice steak coming by. Yeah, I'd be living the dream, man. But now it's all Costco's. But this guy is not complaining, not even in the slightest. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad Sacramento is in a party town like LA. I like quiet living. Then you will love, I mean, Pamela, you will love Sacramento because it is quiet living, relaxing. Areas. Oh yeah, my undercover one or my like one. I like Fair Oaks. I think Fair Oaks is really a sweet area.
Hidden
Um,
gem. Yeah, especially
yeah.
Old Fair Oaks. It's so amazing down there.
So nice, so nice. And you can buy houses on the water if you feel like it. I mean, there's everything in Fair Oaks. It's a beautiful area. But yeah, it's quiet living here. I mean, I'd say Midtown, that's where you're going to get like, that whole like, hey, let's go out. It's still nothing compared to like a San Francisco or an LA. But for the most part, we're all about kind of quiet, relaxing living. For me, if after the show, if I wanted to, I can go walk in my neighborhood, maybe even bump into a couple neighbors who are doing walks. So say it's nice, tranquil, relaxed, nice, cool air out there. So, I mean, for me,
And
this
I
is
would say,
exactly what I like. Huh?
yeah, yeah, and I would say, grew up in the LA area in the suburbs of LA, but still lived in Santa Monica for a long time, and the quality of people here is a whole different level. That to me is, the spaces around you, the venues and all of that, it could be the exact same as an LA or a San Francisco, but the people that are here are very genuine. They're kind, they're well-meaning. You can bump into somebody and have a great conversation where in at least for me growing up in LA and my wife's from the San Francisco Bay Area, um, being in those environments, your defenses and your walls are up so much that
Yeah.
it feels like everything is abrasive a little bit. And here, ever since I've lived here, those walls have completely dropped because I'm putting myself on the same level as everybody else here. Everybody else has those walls dropped. They're open, they're eager. You walk past somebody in a grocery store and you're not just look at each other and then eyes down and keep going. You look at each other and say, "Hey, how's it going?" You're mingling with them and enjoying the time together instead of just hustling by or being worried that somebody's gonna, do something irate. We don't have that here, and I think the quality of people plays a big role in that.
I think so. I mean, I also think here's the thing, and everyone always assumes that because we're California, we all think one way. Everyone's got opinions here. Everyone's very vocal. Everyone talks about but I think one thing that I found about Sacramento is we kind of all respect where each other is coming from. Everyone has their opinions on things, and we all just listen and we respect the fact that everyone's got their opinions, and that's just how the world is and everything too. For me, I thought neighborliness went out the window when I left Marin because I had that growing up. I did Marin. I was driving my bike. Everyone knew each other, and it stopped being that way. Everyone's got Teslas. Everyone's very much like it's my stuff and everything too. And I thought that was dead, gone, adios. And then I checked out Sacramento, and people were like friendly. Everyone was like nice, neighborly. When we moved into our second house in Gold River, it was like people were bringing us pies and stuff and inviting
Yeah,
us to socials and hey, every Friday we're at that one lawn and we all pull up lawn chairs and we're all hanging out and we're just talking and everything too. I was like, this is amazing. And the idea that like right now that my daughter gets to be raised in that type of atmosphere, it's just great.
right,
For me, I couldn't ask for anything
right.
more. So that's my experience as well too. Like I just like it, for me. I mean, you know, I think it's something to be said about not only choosing a place that is up and coming, growing, affordable, but also a place where you feel like that you're welcomed. That you walk in and you feel very welcomed. And I felt very welcomed. I've never felt like, oh, that guy moved from the Bay Area. Da, 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 da. It's just no. It's people have been super friendly to me and everything's been fun. I mean, I've been here for a while, yes, but it's been that way from the get go. What do you think, Corey? Have you been accepted as a surfer boy that came to Northern California? Were you accepted?
Right off the bat. I mean, instantly, met my neighbors. Like my dog gets out off leash and he's running around in the neighbor's yard, and she's playing with him, throwing the ball for him. I had a chicken get out when we were on a camping trip. I have a bunch of chickens, and one of our chickens got out and flew over my neighbor's fence. And she was like, "Hey, no worries. Enjoy your camping trip. I'll look after the chicken. No problem." She just babysat my chicken for 4 days while we were gone. Came back, went over there, grabbed the chicken from her, and brought him back. And it, in other areas that I've lived, it would have been not only a call from the neighbor, I probably would have gotten a call from animal control. I probably would have gotten a call from the city. I probably would have got it would have been a mess. But here, I judgment of where did you come from? You didn't grow up here. You don't know this area, anything like that. It was very much, and it's a melting pot. It's diverse here. You have a lot of everything here. There's a lot of different cultures. There's a
Yeah.
lot of different types of. You can find any sort of restaurants you want, any sort of communities, any sort of religious or churches that you want to go to. You can find it all here, and you're always going to have those outlier people that are just very strict on if you didn't grow up here, you don't belong here. But those are far and few between in my experience, and that even in the LA area growing up there, that was a very strong aspect there. There's a lot of people most people in LA are not from LA. And so they get highly judged, highly critiqued. And that, to me, there's no point in that. Everybody moves around. Just be accepting, judge them on their character and their morals. And here, I didn't experience any of it. It's been a honestly magical experience for me and my family. I have 4 kids, my wife, we have all felt that same way. Totally accepted. I would call this my home, um, uh, now before Southern California.
There we go, man. Put that surfboard away and get one of those paddle boards.
I got 'em, I got a bunch, yeah.
Our Lacey's got to be one of the best new home salespeople there is. Period. 201 sold today. So this community actually isn't even ready. Like the grand opening hasn't even happened. And she already put one down. Also, guys, her husband Ben works at Meritage. And if you guys are looking for something, Meritage, if you're looking in the Thomas, anywhere, they cross sell everywhere too. Let me connect you with Ben. He is like one of my favorite salespeople at Meritage, period. He's been doing it forever. He'll take good care of you. So if you're looking Meritage, guys, reach out to old Mark and I'll hook it up. All right, let's go to the next one. Dun. Dun, dun. Let's see. Oh, here we go. We got Wendy. Wendy, I sent you a text before I went on. Wendy, I apologize for not getting back to you today. Today was absolutely loco. It was crazy. So I was running around like crazy. But tomorrow morning, I promise we will get on the phone, talk a little bit about everything going on. All right. I wish these beautiful homes go for sale soon in my preferred location. That would cheer me up. I think, one of those things that I tell people all the time, it only takes just one. Whether you're someone looking to sell your house and you don't have a buyer right now, or you're looking to buy a house, it just takes that one house, you fall in love, and then all of a sudden the road to get you there is kind of forgotten, and the only thing you see is that your gorgeous house. So I'm hoping that happens to you, Wendy, really, really soon. I'm an eternal optimist. Is it realistic to be optimistic? I think it is.
And,
I think go for it.
one thing I would say for you, Wendy, is, um, Mark and I can put together a system for you, and we've done this before for clients that we've worked with, both together and independently. We can put together the system to find you the off-market properties, and we have a strategy of doing this. It's very, very simple. It's fairly easy. We can generate off-market opportunities for you by searching the listings that have been up for sale in the past year or two that were either canceled or expired or didn't end up selling for some reason that are a perfect fit right within your budget, right within your specs. And we reach out to those homeowners or the agents and see if they're still willing to sell or still interested in selling, because maybe they are and they just don't want to take on that big task of putting the home on the market, getting it all dialed in, all of that, but they still want to sell. And so we can put together a plan for you together that will be able to find those off market opportunities and bring those exclusively to you. And that kind of goes for anybody that's watching. Uh, we have a really strong system to be able to do that. And that opportunity essentially just only goes to you because it's your specs, your budget, your price range, and we'll locate those, find those, get you in on a kind of an exclusive tour, and you have first crack at it. So if you're interested in that, let Mark know, and we can put together a system for that quite easily.
Yeah, Wendy, we want to get you that house, like I said. So we'll do what we need to get it, and we can even postcard the area as well too. Guys, if you are enjoying the show tonight, please smash that like button. It would mean a lot. Now, if you are someone who's looking to move into Sacramento, like ask those questions. We're going to be here until we're done with every single question. Now, if you are one of those people that live in like Roseville, Rockland, somewhere in the Sacramento area, give us your thoughts on Sacramento. What are the things you like about Sacramento? What are the things you don't like about Sacramento? Because there's a lot of people who watch these videos and want to know exactly what this whole area, what is the hoopla about Sacramento. So if you've had a positive experience, let us know in the comments. If you've had a negative one as well, let us know in the comments. This is completely transparent. So the people who are moving into Sacramento, or people just, that are just, I don't know, want to move around Sacramento, get a little bit of an idea. So please chime in. This live broadcast is for you guys. All right. Ginger says, good evening. Good evening, Ginger. Hopefully you're having a good evening. All right. What part of Sacramento can you see the Sierra Mountains from? I imagine it's pretty oh, El Dorado Hills. There's spots there. There's Folsom. I'd say. What else? When we're talking, like probably what, Newcastle? Like what other spots you think?
Yeah, a ton in Shingle Springs, like I was saying, and Shingle Spring, it's the name is deceiving. It sounds like you're 100 miles away from everything. You're not. You're like 3 or 4 miles away from El Dorado Hills, and on the freeway, that's like 4 minutes. So it's you can have I've sold properties that have 180 degrees of the Sierra Nevada foothills, and you can see, sorry, the Sierra Nevada mountains. The properties in the foothills, locations surrounding Sacramento, into the Loomis, El Dorado Hills, Shingle Springs, anything with foothill type stuff. That's where you get those views. Sacramento is in sort of a basin, so if you're below those foothills, you'll have views of the foothills around you. But if you want the Sierra Nevada mountains, you got to get into the foothills and onto the peaks so you can see those views. Now, keep in mind, if with that comes, there's pros and cons to everything. With being in the foothills, you might not have that beautiful, level, flat piece of grass backyard that you might be looking for, or space for a pool. A lot of the properties up there still have pools, but with that elevation change, you might have a steeper sloped backyard, something like that, but you'll have those views. So, yeah, I would say anywhere in the foothills surrounding Sacramento, you'll be able to obtain those views, especially on the eastern side of Sacramento into El Dorado County is where you really get those beautiful snow-capped mountain views.
All right, guys, hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Smash that like button. And if you're looking to buy or sell in the area, reach out to myself and my team, or Corey. We'd love to work with you guys. And honestly, the reason why Corey's on this channel a lot, and I bring him on the live shows, is because he's an amazing realtor. He's like the Energizer Bunny. He just goes and shows a million homes in one day, comes home, then hangs out with his family. It's amazing to me. So only legit people on this channel. I vet everybody who comes on this channel, guys. So Corey is a rock star. All right,
Appreciate
we got
that. Yeah,
Ben. Hey,
likewise.
there are nice pockets of the border of Citrus Heights and Orangevale, yeah, and also Orangevale and Folsom, beautiful homes and communities. Yeah, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts on Citrus?
I love it. I think it's a huge bang for buck location. I mean, since I've moved here and started selling properties in that area, I've seen them go from 350 to $450,000 homes. Now they're up to, 550 to 750. And those are just going to keep growing in value as the demand gets higher and people start taking, not that there wasn't pride of ownership before, but that area is getting better and better. And I think there's a ton of opportunity for things like Sunrise Mall that are going to be new and updated in the future, that are going to bring a lot of demand to those areas. I mean, they're already established with all the big box shops, all the shop kind of
Yeah.
shopping that you want, and restaurants. It's already there. It's been there for quite some time, and so the homes in the area, because they started off as more affordable, have been kind of bought up and updated and changed, and there are some amazing properties there. I would say it's a great opportunity And you can find, especially in Orangevale, you can find homes with larger lots too. I mean, you can get some pretty sizable yards
Yeah.
if yard space is important to you.
Yeah, like the Mariposa area, like yeah, and here's the thing with citrus. Citrus, I always lump these together. Citrus, Orangevale, Fair Oaks, and Carmichael. In Sacramento,
Mhm.
all these areas are very well known by us, right? But what you notice is that a lot of people coming into the area don't really know about these areas. They're like, I'm just not really sure and everything too. I want me my Folsom or I want me my Roseville. You just don't even know how far your dollar goes in areas like Folsom or even Fair Oaks, Orangevale, like Carmichael. Some of these are the old school, like really nice tree lined streets. Like in Carmichael, like Palm Drive, unbelievable. Like Kenneth over in Fair Oaks. I mean, there are some
Yes.
little pocket communities that are just like they'll rival anything that you see in Folsom, but people just don't know about these spots because everyone's looking like for the Folsoms, the Roseville, and everything too. I would say also, just for kicks, if you're someone who's out there looking with their realtor and you're like, I want Folsom, 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 I would say just, hey, look, throw me a couple Carmichaels, throw me a Fair Oaks. Let's go look and, let me like wow me and see what's up. Because there's been many times that I've worked with people looking for like a Folsom and I've shown them stuff and they're like, I just didn't know this existed. And they fell in love. These were like these Fair Oaks, Orangeville, all these spots were Folsom before Folsom became, and all of a sudden we're extending our borders, our like what boundaries further and further out. Like these are areas that are amazing. Like Currow Downs, oof, that area is absolutely beautiful.
Incredible.
Um,
Yeah.
oh yeah, just in Carmichael, there's some homes on the water there, just really beautiful tree lined streets and everything too. So yeah, I would say explore, explore, explore. All right, we got Ben saying Auburn, overlooking the lake, breathtaking views for prices you would believe that are achievable. Achievable. What do you think of Auburn?
I absolutely love it. I mean, I think, you gotta explore the area. Again, it's pretty large too, geographically. And same as this goes kind of for all the neighborhoods that we've talked about, Citrus Heights, Orangevale, Carmichael. You can go through one part of that town and be like, "Oh, I don't like this. I don't want to live here, blah, blah, blah." But I would not write that off. Take that with a grain of salt because you go two streets down and it is beautiful, incredible neighborhood that you would love to live in. And I kind of feel that way about Auburn. Sometimes you drive through some of the areas and it feels like, oh, this is not a good fit. And then other times you'll go two blocks down or three streets down or maybe a little bit, down the highway. And gosh, it is breathtaking views, amazing. I think the prices there are a huge bang for buck. You will encounter some of the septic and fire insurance stuff there. Um, I would say it's because it's a larger geographical area, it can be very pocketed. So don't just write off the area because you think Auburn fire insurance or septic. That's not the case. You have to dig in, do a little due diligence. You might be in one of those pockets that are close to a fire hydrant, close to a fire department, and you won't have any of those headaches that some of the people talk about in the area. But I would agree with Ben here. Incredible options in Auburn.
I really like Auburn. I've actually wanted to do a few more videos. I ran into this realtor who actually specialized in Auburn. I wanted to get her on the show to maybe talk a little bit about it. I think Auburn is beautiful. I think it's Hallmarkish. I think you're going to get unique homes, a lot of them. I think the downtown area is like walkable. I think it's a nice area. I really like Auburn in general. If it wasn't so far out, and because I drive, guys, you don't even know the mileage I put on my car. So like I would drive even further, but like Auburn is for me beautiful. I love it. I think Auburn is nice. I think they have some great communities. You can go up on the hill, you have views. I think it's good. Corey mentioned the fire insurance. Yeah, you definitely got to watch out for that kind of stuff too, and septic, but beautiful area. Auburn for me is really, really nice. They have what's a Dark Horse, the golf course community out there as well too. It's really
Oh,
beautiful.
yeah. Insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you're kind of the bang for your buck there goes a lot further too. Than like let's say you like a Dark Horse isn't cheap, but in relation to maybe like Serrano, maybe like Whitney Oaks, maybe that kind of stuff, it's a little bit you can get the bang for your buck is definitely in Auburn, definitely there. All right, we got Jason. Vlad National Mark, cheap tickets right now. Maybe I'll do. Something I've always wanted to do. Now, I don't know if you guys would like this too, but I thought it would be so cool to take a flight to some of these other areas that are selling like new homes and to tour some of those new homes for this channel and just say, "Hey, look, I'm in Houston, Texas, and I'm taking a tour of this community and talk a little bit about this community and how these communities are building compare to the ones they have in Sacramento as well too." I thought that would be a kick. Kick, kick,
That would be
kick.
amazing to see the different styles, the build, the layouts, um, the structure of the homes, and see the build quality, the difference. That would be really entertaining. We should
It'll
do
be
that.
like I'll
I'll
go
go
to
with you.
Houston. This is a mansion, 5,000 square feet, a pool, high ceilings, $4 just for those McMansions are just
Not
crazy,
in
man.
Nashville. Nashville's taken off.
No, Nashville is insane. I was actually met a couple friends. We were talking, and I was talking to him because he's thinking about moving to Nashville. I'm like, Nashville is like popping. Nashville is like
Moved a
legit,
lot of
you know?
clients to Nashville. A lot of them.
And
Yep.
he was saying
I've
also,
gone to
and
visit
I
them
don't
at
know the
their
what.
house too.
Oh, really? He actually
Oh
said the
yeah, yeah.
weather in Nashville tends to be pretty good. Not because I would assume that it'd be humid, but a lot of people are like, no, Nashville, not humid. It's
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
good.
it's pretty mild, but there is a saying in Nashville that I've heard before while I was there, visiting a client that I moved out there, and they said, "If you don't like the weather in Nashville, just wait 5 minutes, because 'cause it'll go from beautiful sunny day to pouring rain, and then it'll stop, and it'll be a beautiful sunny hot day again, and then it'll go through that cycle multiple times." So you get a little more weather frequency out there, but God, beautiful areas, really cool, amazing downtown area. My wife and I and the kids did the hop on, hop off bus tour around there, doing the history of the whole city. Very, very cool area.
Interesting. Might have to take this show on the road. All right. Wendy says, wishful thinking. Do you anticipate there'll be more quality homes for sale in February? Here's what you're going to find in February, probably more likely March. Corey and I
Mhm.
actually have talked about this offline. Is that almost every single realtor that I know has listings that are going to be listed in spring. A lot of them were the listings that you saw that didn't sell last summer, and they pulled them off because they know spring's going to be their best time to list them. So you're going to see those listings probably packed back on the market, but also a lot of the people who were thinking about listing their home towards the end of last year, the realtor asked them, we should probably list in spring of next year. That's probably the best bet to get you the big bang for your buck, or the best bang for your property. Why? Okay, here's why. We have a big rush of people coming in from the Bay, coming in from LA. People in Sacramento might hate them, love them, whatever, but it's just the way it is. So when you have these people coming in spring, because they want to make sure they got schools taken care of and all that stuff too, spring tends to be the market where you're going to get the most bang for your buck for your house. It just is. Any appraiser that wants to jump on this herd and argue with me, I'm good with that. But what I'm saying is spring is that time for the most part that a lot of the Bay Area people come out to look for schools, look for houses. They want to get everything taken care of before even summer starts. That's just how it's always been in Sacramento that I know.
Mhm.
So for someone who's looking to list their home, and unless they're really like, I got to sell my house today, I got to go, go, go. And it's not impossible, but I'm always like, why don't we wait till spring? Super Bowl's over. Let's go. Let's start getting into it. So for me, I know a lot of people have those listings. I know photos are done. I know videos are done. And there's been a little chirping of agents. Oh, I got this coming up. I got this coming up, this coming up. So I do think that March-ish, we're probably going to get a big influx of like new listings, retreads as well too. But I think we're going to see a pop in inventory. And then a month later, there'll be a bunch of people saying, oh my God, we got a lot of inventory. I'm calling my shot right now. March, you're going to see it. There's going to be a flood of inventory, retreads, and new stuff because a lot of people are holding back till March. What do you think, Corey?
100% agree. And a big thing in that is the seasonality of it. Everything is it's a couple factors that go into the seasonality effect. Everything is green, beautiful, flowering. There's new leaves on the tree. They're not dead like they are in winter with no leaves on them. Everything is beautiful in that time, so it pops in the photos. That gets photos for a real estate listing. They have one job: get people to cross that threshold of the front door. If the photos attract people enough to open up that front door and tour the property, the photos have done their job. In spring, naturally, everything looks amazing. So you're going to have those photos doing that extra heavy lifting. But not only that, it's the seasonality of the school cycle. Like you said, the summertime cycle, people who wanted a pool for 5 years, they've been waiting. They thought they were going to get one last year. They want to enjoy it for summertime this year. So they're going to make that move in the spring so they can have that pool summertime experience and then have their kids enroll in the new school in the fall where in their new location. So that's like right when school's ending, everything's looking beautiful. You get to enjoy the new kind of summertime life in the new home. So there's so many factors that go into the seasonality of the real estate swing, but the spring market is so strong. We almost always see the biggest influx of inventory in that time frame,
Yep.
but we also see the largest buyer pool coming to the market to purchase at that time frame. So you have way more inventory, you have way more buyers, you have way more competition. Things start going over asking. The really pristine listings that attract a ton of people, have the killer photos, the killer marketing, the videos, all of that stuff start going over asking. Now you're competing. So um, you know, homes that may not look as perfect right now in the photos because it's middle of winter, they're going to start looking 10 times better. This is a very common time between mid-December to right now to pull the home off the market. If you let it sit for 30 days, it resets the days on market on Zillow and MLS and everything else. So they'll pull it off, let it sit, throw it on March 1st. You have brand new days on market, looks like a brand new fresh listing that hasn't been advertised at all. Everything's green, beautiful. But don't underestimate that buyer competition, because that could come back and drive that price up of the home and create more competition for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for that house in Folsom, I guarantee you there's a bunch of other people looking for that house in Folsom. And on top of that, if they see the inventory and for some reason or another we get a little bit of a rate drop, you're not going to be walking into that house making a hey, it's going to be competition. And just be aware, there's a lot of people on the sidelines waiting to jump in. And so just don't assume that you can just walk right in and make it happen
Right.
sometimes. So just do your due diligence,
And
do
think,
some, go for it.
some sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but some of
Nah.
those people that if you look at a home and it's vacant or it looks like it's staged with staged furniture, like it looks too perfect for somebody to live in, it has staged furniture, that seller most likely, unless the house is paid off, that seller is probably still making mortgage payments on that home right now. So if their agent is saying, "Hey, you're going to get more money on it by waiting, taking it off the market, waiting until March," that seller has to go and make another mortgage payment, more insurance payments, more property tax. Like all of those things are going to equal out in their escrow. They still have to pay for all of those things. So if they can sell the home a month or two sooner, and give you the credit on that as a credit as a buyer, you can get that to cover some of your closing costs, get that seller credit now at a lower price, less competition. So I would not hesitate to start looking now.
Hey guys, just to let you know, this is a show that we do every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. live. Why do I do the show? Sometimes I look at some of the videos on YouTube and they're just antiquated. They're not giving you correct information about a lot of stuff going on. This is basically the show that I do every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. to kind of give you a little idea on the pulse of the real estate market because it changes. Having so many new home builders building so much stuff happening in the Sacramento area, the market changes really, really fast. And I'm talking, guys, we got like all these new homes in Folsom, Elk Grove, West Sacramento, Rockland, Roseville, all this stuff happening with the 50. Our landscape changes faster than anything. So this is the show to watch if you're thinking about making the move and you want to just, know what's going on and bring your questions. Cause like I said, we're just knocking them out of the park tonight. Bring more. We want them. All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Is there any possibility the school districts will rezone? Will rezone? I know what you're talking about, and yes, like in the new home
Yes.
stuff too. Like I know specifically in West Roseville that I went to
Yeah.
Pulte one year, and they're like, "We're here," and then next year they were somewhere else. So yeah, rezoning is definitely something that happens, right, Corey?
Yeah, oh yeah, I've experienced this with a client before. They
Yeah.
bought a new home in West Roseville, West Park School District, and that was the school district to be in. And as the area grew, the area got rezoned. And now, they specifically moved to this neighborhood for that school district, and they were 3 houses away from where the line is drawn.
Yeah.
So those things can change. And, community has an impact on that. You can go in there and fight it, but gosh, it is an uphill battle to rally up the community to go and fight that. And I was helping this client try to work through those kind of things. And he wanted to sell that house and buy a house literally across the street, a block over, same specs. We were looking for it for him off market, trying to find this. He put a pool in, he did all the things to make it exactly what he wanted. And then the school rezoned. So, I would yeah, in that's the only area I've experienced that in, but in new home communities, there's a far higher likelihood of that than in, older, more established communities for sure.
I also think it's going to be interesting going forward. Rancho is in Elk Grove, but Rancho is really close to Folsom. There's a bunch of new schools coming between Folsom and Rancho. I see that as being something that's going to happen as well too. So it's interesting, but yeah, definitely something to keep your keep very informed about. And a lot of this stuff is online too. A lot of these council meetings and everything too to figure when that is. But yeah, I've seen it happen myself. All right, we got Wendy. Hi Corey, I'm happy that your neighbor was kind and took the high road. Kindliness makes our world a better place. Thank you, Corey. Sounds wonderful for the list. Yeah,
100%.
yeah, you got to be. I think you guys. I mean, the world's crazy as it is. I think that one thing is just giving people the benefit of the doubt and just neighborliness, man. It just is. It's a good thing, you know. Be cool.
Yeah,
Be
treat
be
people like you
friendly.
wanna be treated. That's the number one rule. Treat them with kindness. It can't hurt you.
No. All right. How neighborly is South Sac? I will tell you this though, guys. South Sac is completely renovating itself with all the stuff happening at Delta Shores and everything too. Like South Sac, I mean, it's just going. I mean, there's shopping over there too. Everything's going. I think that what you're going to find in South Sac, maybe 1 or 2 years, and majority of people living in South Sac might not even be from Sacramento. There's gonna be a lot of investment stuff going on, but there's a lot of people moving into South Sac. What do you think about that area as far as neighborly?
Um, yeah, I work with a lot of people that are purchasing in that area. A lot of investors purchase in that area, a lot of fix and flips in that area. The de-stressed properties seem to be clearing out very quickly and getting renovated into, fully remodeled homes that young families are moving in, young couples are moving in, and it's a long, it's a slow burn. Those things will change over time. I personally, I know a lot of South Sac gets a really bad rap sometimes, but I have never gone there and had a bad encounter with somebody personally. Um,
Yeah.
and so I think, you know, everybody loves the neighborhood they live in, or maybe even if you don't love it, it's your home and you take pride in it and you treat your neighbors well. And that's the experience that I've had there. The people that I've helped move in there love their neighbors. Even if the house is not perfectly upkept, the person living inside of it is still a good person and they still get along with them well. They're still kind, they get along great. Um, you always have those outliers in any area. You can have those in luxury cities too. But yeah, I agree with you that the area is changing, and as Elk Grove builds out into the Vineyard area and into South Sac, and that area just kind of changes over time, we're going to see that become, a much better area over as time progresses.
Elk Grove too, man. Oof, on fire. Elk Grove doesn't seem to ever. It seems like this just like it goes and goes and goes nonstop,
Yes.
nonstop. And some people like it, some people don't like Elk Grove. I just see it as like this phenom. It's an area that never seems to slow down. Competition's always there. People are always looking to move in Elk Grove. It just is what it is. It's just its own kind of
Yeah,
thing.
and
So
I agree with that, and it's so interesting how polarizing that area can be. Some people absolutely love it, and that's the only area they wanna be in. Some people just absolutely don't. like it at all. Um, but gosh, I would definitely, if you're looking in the Sacramento area and you're new to the area or haven't been there before, definitely got to go take a look at it.
All right. Hold on. We got Pamela. Thank you for your answers. No problem, Pamela. And like I said, guys, bring us your questions and also throw out your comments. I want to know what you guys have to say about some of these questions that are being thrown out there. All right.
Yeah, and
To Sacramento,
ask some interesting,
let's
challenging
go.
questions. We want it all. Give
Bring
us
it.
some hard hitter ones. Yeah, give us some strong opinionated points. We'll talk about it all.
There we go. I like it. All right. Do Sacramento proper luxury homes come with interior courtyards? I've never seen it. Do you have to go to the hills for that? I've seen a couple in Serrano in that area. Normally, that's kind of like more of a Spanish style that I've seen. You know, those type of homes. I have seen them. I've seen a couple in Loomis as well too. I like them. I like the courtyards inside as well too. I've seen a lot of that. I used to travel throughout. It's called South America a little bit, and I saw that style a lot. I've seen them. You have to go to certain areas to see them. I think like your Loomis's, probably like Granite Bay definitely has some. El Dorado Hills, I've seen them as well too. Have you seen those? The ones with the
Well,
interior
yeah, and you're
courtyard?
talking about Sacramento proper. So if you're in like proper Sacramento, I would
Oh yeah,
say
sorry,
look at,
Asian.
no, all good. Yeah, East Sac has some amazing, beautiful properties that have these, the lot when if you look at the lot specs look very small, but you'll have the house kind of pushed more towards the front. You'll have this long driveway that goes towards the back garage, and then in between the garage and the house, you have this beautiful encapsulated backyard, private courtyard area, um, that people have done some amazing things with. So I would say, East Sac, Land Park, there are some great pockets. Southland Park, a pocket neighborhood. Those all have some really good interior courtyard areas. You don't have to go to the hills for that. You can definitely find those there. Um, I know East Sac is definitely more in that luxury area. That if you're looking for luxury homes, the those homes are older. So keep in mind, if you're looking for luxury in that area, you're going to have an older build that's been remodeled, and that'll most likely command a very high price point. Or you're going to find something that's older and needs a lot of work, but has all the aspects of a home that you can't change. And I like to talk to my buyers about, let's talk about things you can change, things you can't change. You can't change location, can't change lot size. You can't really change, where the house is sitting on the lot. You can, but it's not worth it. It's better to move. You're not going to tear out the unless you're going to bulldoze the whole property and rebuild a brand new home. Let's talk about the things you can change versus the things you can't. And sometimes buying that little bit of an older home that needs a little bit more work, with the exact layout that you're looking for, is much better plan for the long run.
100%, 100%. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with East Sacramento. All right, we got another question. If you're starting, if you want a starting home in a gated community, West Roseville has that to offer. JMC Homes makes good quality homes. The one behind the new Costco only has one home left. JMC is on fire, and we've gotten at least 3 people into JMC Homes probably within the last month and a half. JMC is also offering in some communities landscape backyards as well too, which is nice. Yeah, GMC quality builder. I've really never experienced anyone who's had issues with them. I think I don't know. I like GMC. I think they're quality, and I think they're on fire too. They got like Placer One they're building. West Roseville they got stuff. Amoroso Ranch. I mean, they're building, and they're building really nice communities. They've got great incentives, and I think I'll say this for JMC. I think they have the best standard upgrades that I've ever seen. You'll walk into a JMC home at times and go like, "How much are these finishes?" Or like, "This is standard. This is our standard upgrades."
Yep.
Really, really nice stuff. What do you think of JMC?
I agree. I think, yeah, really good turnkey. You kind of get everything you want right off the bat. Um, and the West Roseville, those when you have those communities with one home left, gosh, those ones usually go really quick. And typically, if it's one new build left, you might be able to get a model right after that one new build, goes. So even if that one last offering goes, still kind of look at those new home communities, because sometimes those builders have to reconfigure their office space back to one of the model homes. So if you love that community, pay attention to that, and you might be able to get one of those model homes included.
Oh, we got someone from your neck of the woods, 12-year LA resident looking to get the heck out and head to El Dorado Hills and Folsom. 13-year-old beyond burnt out, ready to flee and head. You will love it.
This,
I'm jealous of that. Like
yeah,
when
this is
I
my
made the
perfect client. Yeah,
You're
yeah,
gonna love it. Love, love, love. I mean, literally, like right now, what you're thinking of, it will be better than that. It will be better than that. I know it sounds weird, but you will move
hundred
there
percent,
and you'll go like,
hundred
you'll have
percent.
this like weird permanent grin on your face for at least the first year of moving in. You'll walk around and your neighbors will think you're a little loony because you're walking around with a big old smile on your face. And then you'll tell them you moved here from LA and you're super excited. And then they're like, I get it. We've seen that look a lot with a lot of people moving in. You will love it here. I kid
Yeah.
you not. It's it's
It
it's
is a
just
huge breath of fresh, oxygenated, tree-lined air. I mean, and one the biggest thing for me, this is kind of off topic, but one of the biggest things for me moving from the LA area to this area is the amount. I know it's called the city of trees, but gosh, if you're moving to El Dorado Hills, Folsom area, the amount of trees and mature growth here that aren't palm trees or like landscape type trees, just the amount of greenery around the area it's life changing. It just being in a completely different environment like that does a lot for your soul, I would say.
Oh yeah, and also here's the thing: it maybe it's something about the not as much traffic, not as much like this, like
Oh
you
yeah,
just the energy. It's like if it feels like someone just literally lifted you off the treadmill you're on and put you down somewhere relaxed. I don't know, it's because whenever I go back to the Bay, I'm like already feeling like just, "Ugh."
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I'm like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
want to get
You're still
home.
like
I want to get home. Traffic,
yeah,
it's like gloomy. It's like not fun. I'm like, I could care less about like whatever you guys have here that like are, get me back home. I'm good. Like you just feel like you've just been taken off the treadmill and you're here and you're relaxing and it's chill. And when you decide you want to go driving to a store, you got parking. It's relaxed. There's no huge. It's just I don't know. Just you'll be super excited. I mean, yeah. I'm excited for you. All right. Talking to my neighbors. Do you think it's a good hiring your neighbor as your tax preparer? Man, my own. And this is a little off topic, but for me, I wouldn't want anyone in my business that close to me. That's just my own two
same,
cents. For
same.
me, for my tax, like I have a bookkeeper and I have like a CPA. I literally like I got a referral from someone and I use them. I've never really even met them. Do you know what I mean? I just know their reputation, everything too. And they're out of my business. I'm out of their business. And that just for me works the best. I would, your neighbor has one too many cocktails and they're like, hey, do you know how much that person's making? No, 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 that wouldn't work for me. How about you, Corey?
No, I mean, same. Like I've even gone over to my direct neighbors, left and right's house and talked about real estate. If they want to purchase something, great. They want to list their home with me, great. But I tell them, hey, you should interview a bunch of other agents because the relationship with you is more important to me than a piece of business to me. And so I'm gonna give you all the hard facts, um, kind of unfiltered in a way, not being mean, but I'm gonna be completely direct with you because the relationship with you is more important to me. And the last thing I would want to do is burn that bridge, and have a disgruntled neighbor or to have them think that I'm trying to take advantage in any way. And so, yeah, to me, it's a tough line to draw. Tax repair. I mean, I have neighbors 3 doors down that I would consider family. I would share anything with them. They've watched my kids. I trust them with my life. So something like that, if you're very close to them and have that understanding, then by all means, go for it. Um, uh, yeah, that's a very subjective question. But I will say, Derek, you are on top of the real estate game. I think you should consider getting your license and talking to me and Mark about getting a career in this business because you know a lot about the industry. you asked a lot of the right questions. You know a lot about this stuff. It might be something in your future. You might want to take a look at that because you got a lot of good detailed information. I think you could really crush it in this business.
Real estate, like, here's the thing. Some people do it right, some people don't. Some people are all about the check. I love real estate. Like Corey loves real estate. There's just something about it that just clicks. Like for me, I wake up early every single morning. The media part of it, the YouTube stuff, but also the real estate stuff, meeting new people, making sure they're good, making sure they're in the right, just I get fueled up. Like that's the stuff like I love. And a lot of times like when we work, people work with our team and everything too. I'm out there, we're doing our stuff and everything too. Like we just love what we do. And I know Corey's the same way. That's why when we talk, we're just all
Yes.
fired up for this stuff too. So that's it.
I sit down at my computer, regardless of what day it is. It'll be 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sitting down to just check an email or something that I have to do, and I can't help but to open the MLS, see what just popped on the market because it's a fire. It's just, you're attracted to it, and it doesn't feel like work. I gotta
No.
just check the market, see what's going on, see what's out there, see what's new, and yeah, it's a very fun, exciting business.
Oh yeah. All right. Thank you. I'm a registered nurse, happy and thankful for what I do. I think, and I think that that's awesome. Also, I mean, guys, if you are a nurse or a doctor or a medical professional, man, Sacramento's perfect for you. UC Davis,
Yeah,
Shriner, Kaiser's,
right.
Dignity. I mean, you name it. We've got so many hospitals here. It's just insane. So yeah, it's good. It's
Yeah,
good
a
for
lot
that.
of doctors and nurses that I've served. Yeah, a lot of them.
I appreciate you guys. No problem, man. I'm excited. You're gonna have a good time. Good time. Good times are
Reach
coming
out
your
to us.
way.
We'll show you some of the stuff that we got going on here. You'll love it. I guarantee you'll love it. Come up, take a trip, reach out to us. We'll go hang out. We don't even have to go look at properties. We'll just show you some of the cool things to do in this area and give you a taste of what it looks like to live here.
Oh yeah, and also like yeah, if you are in the area this Saturday, Corey and I are thinking of going to Cars and Coffee at 7 a.m. So if you're down, it'll be fun. First time I've ever gone to that event, so I'm pretty excited. Okay, this is a very good question, and guys, this is the time that you need to really pick the right realtor. As far as selling your home, as far as working with you to buy your first home or buying a home, sorry. It just really is because in a colder market, you see realtors, they're a little bit more super aggressive, like with their clients, not with getting you what you want, but they're like this. There's a lot of people that are hungry. There's a lot of people that are craving that check and, just working with the right team, working with the right person. You just got to really vet people as well too. And that's it, like whether it's myself, whether it's Corey, whether it's someone else, just make sure you have a good vibe with them as well too. Now, this is interesting. How many sales should a good buyer's agent do? Lots of agents with less than 10 sales in 25 and 25 keep reaching out. It's hard to tell who is BSing. What do you think, Corey?
Um, because I had this concern when I first got started in real estate, and my intro to real estate, I had a real estate startup company. I was licensed right out of high school pretty much, but I wasn't an active agent, but I had a robust amount of knowledge about the real estate industry before I became an active agent. And so, you really want to critique that person on their knowledge, and you should feel it in your gut that they're they're being able to provide information that's above and beyond your level of expertise. If you're feeling like you're more of an expert in the field than they are, then and I'll say that with a caveat. If you're feeling like you're more of an expert than they are in some ways, you might want to question it, but don't give up on them yet because they may have a robust team behind them that can provide all of those level of service and all of those that knowledge and details and aspects that you're looking for. And I will say there's something about a younger agent just getting into the business that there's that drive, that hunger, and that ambition that's going to push them to do above and beyond levels of service that a seasoned professional that isn't used to a high level of service may not do. So, Mark and I are seasoned professionals in this, and we still consistently provide a very high level of service. But I know, because I work with a lot of agents that have been in the business a very long time, have hundreds of thousands of sales, far more than me, but they wouldn't provide the same level of service that I would. So you want to make sure you're working with somebody that'll go to the lengths that you need to get the job done, in order to make sure that you're well taken care of. Um, Interview a lot of agents before you select one. That's all I could say is talk to a lot of agents, interview a lot of teams, um, independent agents that are doing well and have a lot of business. Um, Teams offer a big repertoire of services, but because sometimes the teams get so large, you don't get to uh, take advantage of some of those services because it's too large. It's too hard to service all of those people, or they don't want to take the time to get you all of those services. That even though their team offers it, it's too much work to kind of get it to down to you. Some individual agents, solo agents, can be able to provide that, but I will say some solo agents are get overwhelmed and can't do that too. And that's just being 100% transparent, real to the industry. I would say, um, yeah, you can have experience in the amount of transactions that you do, or you can have experience from real life circumstances and education, and just hire or interview a lot of agents before you hire one.
Yeah. I mean, and
What would you
also
say?
like on the flip side of this, I think, okay, like for example, like I'm working with this deal with the Folsom house that we had. Really, really, realtor's nice, but she's really green. She's just new and everything too. But all of a sudden, I get this document sent my way that's adding their team lead to the deal. I've never talked to their team lead before, and this is the main person on the team,
Yeah.
and I'm adding them into the deal. And so they're padding their resume with a deal that they're not really even a part of. And like it's
Yeah.
called, so for me, I'd also say one thing is that if you're going after if some big name realtors, oh, I do million sales, they might not. They might literally do no sales, but they're just being added to every single deal they're a part of. That's something just to consider as well too. And you might never talk to them. I mean, they might not need to be every moment of the transaction, but you got to at least meet with them. I didn't meet with them. I know the clients didn't meet with them on the other side as well too. So I think that there's a lot of like BS as far as picking a realtor. I think, um, for me, I think you got to also do little things. And I know Corey kind of hit the basics of the question, but for me, we're in the service industry, right? Like if I'm working with a client, I need to be there to answer questions. I need to be there on the phone. I need to be there texting, all that stuff too. So it's also about getting in touch with the person, right? Like one of the things that, pisses me off beyond belief is when I'm in a transaction and I have a client who's like, hey, I would really love this house. And I'm like, I called the realtor 4 times and they still have not gotten back to me. And so I would
Mhm.
also say when you're picking out an agent, like call them random times. Hey, see how fast they get back to you. See how fast they respond to you. If
Yes,
they give you some BS about
100%.
I'm in a meeting or no, 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 and they just don't get back to you like for a while, like I would say, like, how's that bode for me when I'm in a transaction and I need to have someone answer questions for me? Are they going to be in a meeting? Are they going to be MIA? I mean, like, that's one of the things too. And that's why, working with a full time realtor for me is always preferred just because, when I've been in transactions where the other realtor disappears and they're just gone. And I look
Mhm.
like the jerk with my client because I'm like, nah, I've been trying to get a hold of them for the last 4 days. Nothing, nothing, nothing. So, understand this, we are the service industry, and you should be getting the best service. And if you have a question, someone should be there to answer the question. Someone should be there for you at all times. And if they're not, that's a big huge red flag. So if you do interview these people and you're like, all right, how many sales do you have, also they could be padding it with a team. Like their team could be like 50 people and they could do 100 transactions, but that person could have done like 2 of those transactions maybe.
Right.
I like service for me. Right. I'd say, okay, let me have your number, and I'm going to call you a few times during the course of the day, or don't even tell them, just randomly call them with questions about real estate. See how fast they are to respond. See that stuff, because for me, that's a lot more important. You know, like if a person's competent and I probe them with questions, I'm like, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, okay, that's good. But I need them to be there when I need them, when I need something done. Like, and that's a huge one for me. It's
Yes.
communication and just the
Huge.
responsiveness. You know, like
Yes.
for me, before the show, I have a listing at Severing, that older house. I was there before the show showing a house because with our listings, we show up to showcase the house when our client needs us to. It's service. We are in a complete service industry. And one of the things that, and I'll get off my soapbox, is that you have some of these agents who've been doing it for a while. They have a million deals underneath their belts and they act like they're above their clients.
Yes.
And
Oh
they're
God,
not. I could care less how
drives
many
me
deals you've
crazy.
done. I could care less about what kind of house you live in, what kind of car you're driving. You are not. And that is the biggest pet peeve I have when I run into these agents that think they are like, oh my
Mhm.
God, I'm the best thing since sliced bread.
Drives
I'm
me
like,
insane.
dude, we're all in the same service industry. It's making sure our clients get the best service possible. And if you don't
Yes.
feel that way, retire. So, okay, soapbox, I'm coming down.
Yeah.
What do
No,
you think, Corey,
I
about
will
that?
give you a good example about this. This is a situation I just dealt with less than 48 hours ago. I had a client in Placerville purchasing a home. Placerville City, which is a very small area, requires a sewer lateral inspection. To sell the home, you have to do this inspection. If the report comes back and there's findings that, hey, the sewer is in bad condition, they will force the seller to do those repairs in order to get the certification from the city to be able to sell the property. We just got this report back from a sewer company, and I've watched sewer scope videos. I've watched 100 of them where they shove a camera down the sewer. You watch the condition of the sewer all the way to the city main, what the property owner's responsibility is. And I watched this camera go down. There was very minimal issues, but the sewer company said you need $8,500 worth of repairs. We're a week away from closing, and my seller is freaking out. Um, I went down to the city, met with the city official. They, of course, how cities work, that you have to talk to this person, then to this person, then to this person. So I'm sitting there bouncing around from city hall, level 2, level 4, level 5, level 6, to all the different building departments until I got the person who made the determination that it's my seller's responsibility. We sat down together. I said, "Look at this video. I'm sure you've seen just as many sewer videos, if not more, than I have. I know that this sewer is not requiring this level of repairs, and I want you to watch it with me and tell me what you think." We sat down together. We watched the video together, and he said, "Nope, this is not at the level of what this contractor is saying. You don't need to do any repairs. We're going to issue the certification right now, and you'll be able to close this week." This just happened. And most agents would get that and be like, "I don't even know what to do." But if it's like you can't take no for an answer a lot of the times, and if you hit a roadblock, you have to be able to plow through that roadblock any way you can. I could have walked in there and he could have sat me down and said, "No, I don't care. We're gonna make you do these repairs regardless." But at least I can go to my client confidently and say, "Look, this is what I did, X, Y, Z, to get you to this point to be able to. I did every single thing possible to make sure that I've tried to mitigate this for you." In this case, I feel like we got very lucky and we were able to mitigate that for them. But a young agent or a team agent may not even know what to do with that, and they would just say, "Hey, you got to do this. You got to repair it, or we can't close." So do what you can. Um, you got to be selective on who you use. So, and I'll get off my soapbox now.
No, no, you're right. I mean, like I said, in real estate, there are some days where you got to deliver bad news to your clients, you know, and a lot of
Yeah,
realtors tiptoe around that or they don't want to do it. And you got to like be the person who kind of just, look, this is bad news, but I need you to know it as soon as possible because we need to figure out a solution to this. Here are the things I
right.
would suggest to do. and you know that call is just not going to be good, and you know your client is not going to want to hear about this, and you know chances are you're going to be the one who gets thrown in front of the bus and run over a few times. You got to jump in there. You got to
You
take
got
that
to do it.
on. You got to just do
Yeah.
it and pull the band-aid off and just do it. And I see so many young realtors that are like scared of it. They're, I don't know,
Yeah, they don't know what to do.
it's
They get
part
yeah,
of the
they
gig.
get trapped. And the other thing too is behind the scenes, a lot of younger agents or newer agents, when they get bad news that they have to you have to disclose it to the other party. In this situation, I was representing the seller, and the buyer needs to be aware of these situations going on. A lot of agents would just stop communication with the listing agent or the buyer's agent, and they would be like, "What the heck is going on?" The buyer's agent is asking for an update. "Hey, is this getting taken care of? Is this happening? Do we have to make repairs? Do we have to delay closing? What is going on?" And a lot of newer agents, in my experience, they will stop communication because they don't know what to do. They don't want to disclose too much. They don't want to put their seller in a bad position. But for me, I'm confident enough, at least in my experience, that I immediately communicate that information, protect my seller, and tell them what's going on, so all parties can be involved. So that if something comes up in the future that there is a delay, they have been along with me that entire ride, and it's not this huge explosion right next to closing that, oh shoot, we have to delay closing because we have to do $10,000 worth of sewer work. You have to be able to communicate these things accurately, appropriately, and not putting your seller under the bus, not obligating them to do work, but communicating it to the buyers and the buyer's agent so that they can prepare for these things. So if you get blindsided, they're on the same page with you and you're not blindsiding them, because it's just going to reflect badly on you and your sellers.
Yeah, no, I mean, 100%. Like, you just have to kind of step up and just deal with it. Now, here's the thing, and Corey and I will both agree
Great
with this
question.
one.
Yeah.
There are a lot. It just any profession. There's good and there's bad realtors and everything too. For me and Corey, both of us will say the same thing. We know a ton of great realtors. There are fantastic realtors in the area. So don't think that we're
Yeah.
just saying we're the only two great realtors out there. We know a ton of
No,
them.
yeah, not
We're
at
just
all.
saying basically ask the right questions, be selective. It's your journey, your process. And we are in a service industry. So just make sure you're getting the best service humanly possible. All right, Ginger, is this still going on? Man, come on, Ginger. Come on, bring some questions our way. What other two realtors are going to go for an hour and 45 minutes answering questions nonstop? I don't know if there's any other two realtors that can do that. All right, Corey,
That
let's
was a
wrap this
great
up.
last. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to put the soapbox in front of you. Give me an elevator pitch for people who are sitting there and going, I'm thinking about Austin. I'm thinking about maybe, I don't know, Oklahoma City, wherever they're thinking about. Like, what's that elevator pitch? Well, we've got a question first, but what is that elevator pitch after they start thinking,
Okay.
letting the wheels spin? I want to hear your
Okay.
elevator pitch on what you would talk to someone if they're thinking about other areas and they're also considering the Sacramento area. All right. I'm currently looking around EDH area. Family's telling me to wait because the economy is uncertain right now, and there certain prices will drop. What are your thoughts? Okay. Here's my thoughts on that. Right. I think that you know prices could drop. I think in our market was kind of flat, and there are some houses that I am seeing being reduced and everything too. I don't know if they're going to go down too much, where it's like, oh wow, that house is like worth $1 million, and now it's being sold for $500,000. I would say right now, doing your research and figuring out what correct pricing is huge. Huge, huge, huge. A lot of times a seller will like list a house for $1 million, just maybe worth like 800, and then they'll reduce it to 900, and everyone's like, oh man, it was reduced $100,000. That's a great price. But it's an $800,000 house. Learn correct
Right.
pricing, get out there and figure out what areas, what communities that you really, really like. El Dorado Hills is big. You got like Serrano, you got Blackstone, you got like Promontory, you got all these areas, Ridgeview and everything too. What is the area that makes you happy? What's that area? Just kind of drill down and go, okay, I like these 3 areas. I like these floor plans. Price per square foot, high and low. That's perfect. That's what I like. I'm looking for a single story. What's the difference between single story and 2 stories? How fast do they move? Okay, let me go to a couple open houses I know the realtor's gonna be all over me, but just I'm gonna tell them I got a realtor already, so I don't have to deal with them. Look at the open houses. Look how fast things move. Maybe you're looking for like a two-story home in the promontory. This is the square footage. You want a house to be like, updated, but doesn't have to be crazy. What does that look like? How fast do those things hit the market and how fast do they sell? Kind of figure out areas because that's what I would do. How about you, Corey?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. And if you're looking in that area, I don't know if you own there's a lot of factors that go into this question. Do you own a home currently? If so, if you're waiting and you're waiting for prices to drop, that's only hurting your equity in your home. If you expect prices to drop, then by waiting, you're only going to lose value in your own home too, right? Because the whole real estate market kind of moves in a motion. If you're currently renting, then I would consider what a lot of real estate agents kind of classify this as like the cost of waiting. What you're paying now for on rent is going to a landlord's pocket. You're paying their mortgage. You're not paying your mortgage. You're not putting that money in your own pocket. So, we can sit down, and if you really want to get nitty gritty, we can do this, offline in an appointment, and sit down and break apart what you're paying now and what you're going to pay over the next 6 months. If you're going to pay that amount of rent in 6 months by waiting, hoping that this home is going to drop that same amount in that amount of time, most of the times what I've found is the home is not going to go down, and it's going to go pending before that. They're going to do a $10,000 price drop, and they're going to go pending before you're going to um, save that amount of rent money, if that makes sense. So the cost of waiting, you get tax benefits from owning a home. You start building equity by owning a home. You get to make it your own. You get to establish that with your family. So there is a cost to waiting if you're renting, waiting to time the market. We've talked about this so many times. Time it for your life. Time it for your life. If you can afford it, you find the right home that you can afford and is at a good price point, is everything that you want. I would take the initiative and make that move on that home because you're going to get that equity buildup over those next 6 months. Instead of giving that money to your landlord, you're going to put that in your own pocket by building that equity in your own home. So I don't foresee, especially with the market has been, since COVID, we went through these crazy cycles, super low interest rates, insanely high prices, insanely high interest rates, and prices are slowly adjusting down. They're not extremely dropping. When you see high interest rates, you expect those home prices to drop, but they haven't. It's kind of a anomaly, uh, historically, but we're not seeing that sharp price decrease. So we're expecting interest rates to slowly come down, which should only elevate real estate prices in theory. So I don't expect any sort of sharp price drops in the future. Um, I would say, especially going into a hot market into the spring where you have the most activity in the market, that's where you see these spin ups in prices. I don't foresee any sort of sharp price decline coming in the future. And if you're sitting on the sidelines watching perfect homes go by, where you could be building equity in those and be happy in those, you could be missing an opportunity too.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on all that. I would say also this is a trick too. Let's say rates go down. Let's say rates are in the fives, right? You're gonna have probably competition with a lot of people that have been waiting on the sidelines to buy. And
Right.
if rates keep going up, you might not want to buy just because the interest rate isn't attractive, and you could see prices drop, but you're gonna look at it and go, well, I mean, we're at 7%, let's just say in a fictitious world. Like, okay, we're at 7%, prices went down. Wow, my payment is still higher than, if rates were like at 6.1, which they are kind of like around right now too. So it's a tough one,
Right.
right? But I think a lot of people in the perfect world, back in the 2.75 days when I was doing the show as well too, people were like, there's it's 2.75 and I'm 100% sure that prices are going to drop because my buddies are telling me that. They didn't drop. They went up. because we saw this
Yeah.
so much demand hitting the market that all of a sudden prices went up and up and up and up and up. So a lot of people are thinking, yeah, you know what? I'm going to wait for interest rates to go down. By that time, prices are going to go down and I'm going to be able to jump in and the world's going to be a perfect place. I mean, the way
Mhm.
real estate kind of works is if interest rates drop and we get into the fives, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to buy.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden prices could go up. So I would say for you, and this is just my own self, time your life, don't time the market. This is your moment to do the research and just figure out exactly when you see a house, what it's listed for. If you say that's a deal or if you say it's overpriced, kind of do that research, right? Right now, there's no big push that you have to buy the second. This is the moment where whether your parents are right or whether they're wrong or whether your friends are right or wrong, figure out exactly what that is that you're looking to buy. What is that? What community do you like? How many square footage do you need? Like price, and just kind of go to open houses, have fun with it. There's no big push, you know? And that would be me.
And one thing, the easiest way to, understand the relationship with interest rates and prices is when interest rates are low, that's like borrowing money is cheap. When you get money cheaply, you can spend more easily. So when money's cheap, you spend more. When money's expensive, you spend less. So when money's really expensive, you spend less, and that's what pushes prices down. When interest rates are super low, money is cheap to buy, to loan. So when money is cheap, you can easily spend far more and go over asking and spend way more. So that relationship, that's the easiest way to understand that is. And so you can time it as close as you can as you want, but at the same time, I have been through this countless times with clients that they've missed out on an opportunity of a perfect home that they could have been in now for a year or two, um, with a rate that would have been far acceptable at the time, and they waited because where they were waiting for that price drop or that interest rate drop, and they have paid a year, 6 months, 2 years of rent to somebody else instead of putting that in their own pocket.
Yeah. And here's the thing, just to show you a little bit, and this is like, not that you can get this rate or whatever. This is just kind of like the way mortgages are doing right now too. But right here, see that little dip right here, the big W right there? That's when you know who came out and was saying that he's forcing Fannie Mae to buy bonds and that the person he's going to replace Jerome Powell with is going to make sure rates go down. And so because of the media around that, we saw a drop, but then it went back up. And so, but during that drop period right here, that W right there too, I know at least five lenders that were like, man, applications just went crazy. Why?
Yeah.
Well, because rates went down and people thought rates were going to go down further. And all of a sudden you saw a big pop. Then it went back up. And now realtors are like, ah, man, no one's buying right now too. But if we see some media hype or stuff and all of a sudden rates drop a little bit, you're going to see demand hit again too. It's just the way that kind of the cycle works. But again, like I always say, time your life, don't time the market. But just make sure you know what you want to buy. I mean, I would say that that's my biggest thing to you. I mean, mark it up, mark it down. But do you really know what you want? Now's the time to do that research. All right, man. We got video guy Matt, and he's here. He's on fire. All right, we got it. Join late. What I miss? Why are agents relisting homes for the same price that didn't sell last year? Time to wake up. I'm telling you, that's going to be one of the biggest things going on in this market. If we see realistic pricing, if someone said, hey, I sold my house last year, or listed my house last year for $1 million, it didn't sell. Maybe this year I'm going to be dropping it maybe to like 899. Or if they're going to say, I dropped it for $1 million, tried selling it for $1 million, didn't sell, but this year's miraculously different. Let's sell it for $1 million, see what happens. Like that's going to be trouble for our market for sure. I think sellers have got to be a little realistic about their pricing. All right, bottom line, sharp price drop should be happening, but current admin is desperate to make sure it never happens. They have been and will continue to juice the markets and keep prices high. What do you think? Chime in here, Corey, anytime.
Well, I would say, it the pricing of a specific home is very interesting. In that time off market, you don't know if that seller remodeled the kitchen. You know, they did a ton of landscape in the backyard. They invested 100 grand in the backyard. You don't know if they did anything. You don't know if they blew holes in the wall and just completely destroyed the house. So that could be very subjective, especially on a house by house basis. But I will say, agents, especially understanding the market, know that it is a seasonality to things. And homes, if you're putting a home on the market in late November at a certain price and you're not getting the activity or the offers that you're looking for, I've been in this situation multiple times where we're not getting that activity. Hey, let's pull it off. Let's wait till spring. That we talk about this all the time. This is why agents do that, is because you can wait that amount of time and get your price in the spring by waiting for that seasonality change where buyers' mentality change. Everything around the home is beautiful and clean and perfect. And maybe they clean up the home. You can make that happen and get I've taken a home off the market in the wintertime when we haven't been getting the price that we want or any offers, put it back on the market at the same price in the spring and gotten way over asking offers. And this is not a COVID market. This is like the past year. Um, and so agents know that, and their job is to represent that seller in the best way possible to get them the most money possible. And using that expertise and the seasonality advice and the buyer's habits is a way to do that. Um, like I said before, I don't see a sharp decline in pricing coming, but I could be completely wrong. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with the administration, interest rates, all of that. I don't have a crystal ball. That's just what I would say from my professional opinion.
I keep asking for a crystal ball every Christmas and I just don't get it. So it's all good. All right, we got a video guy Matt again too, and he's coming in with both fists. Okay, we don't talk about Symantec AI risk to job impact. Oh no, 100%. I mean, I'm with you on that. 16,000 layoffs at Amazon today. People can only buy if they have jobs. I agree, and I think AI is just going to be crushing a lot of. You see AI Mark in a year or two. Hello, how are you doing? But now here's where it gets really interesting, and I think Corey can dive into this a little bit too. It's something that Corey and I had to talk a little bit about, and he's like, because of AI and because of what's going on right now, we're seeing a lot of the trades need warehouse spaces. And he
Yes.
was telling me he's like, because I was talking about penciling properties. He's like, you can still do it, but he's like, what's hot right now is industrial space because the trades need more industrial space. And if you want to see stuff that pencils, you got to take a look at these numbers. So, Corey, take it away on that.
Yeah, with the AI risk, I think it's a very, very real thing. It's a real thing that these jobs are at a high risk. And when those people that have been in a job that is being taken over by AI, they're going to start looking at other options. And what happens a lot of times in those situations is they'll start looking at something that they can immediately pick up on, and that tends to be blue collar, labor style jobs, skill based jobs that they can either learn through some YouTube courses or just practice in their backyard, some through some DIY home maintenance, things like that, and you can get good at. And you can build those businesses that are in those service based businesses that require skills or materials or specialized equipment have taken off, and my clients that are in those spaces have seen the biggest boom in their business that I've seen since like the mid nine. I grew up in the trades. I grew up doing construction work, concrete work. I watched my dad. He owned his own construction company, concrete company, and I watched these cyclical things happening. Um, so the trades business is expanding rapidly, and those people who have those businesses are absolutely crushing it. So when AI takes over, we're going to see a bigger flood of the workforce move towards those blue collar jobs because there's been a lack of demand in that workforce, the hands-on labor blue collar jobs, for a long time. And so now those things are almost like a specialty, and they're killing it. They can charge almost whatever they want because that work still needs to be done. AI can't come and replace your HVAC system at your house. They can't come and put siding on your home. They can't put a roof on. They can't pour concrete in your driveway. Those jobs still need to be done. So when we see the jobs being taken over by AI, we're going to see this workflow shift from desk jobs, middle manager jobs, those mid-range jobs that are in between entry level and high, executive jobs. That pool is going to change drastically, and we're going to see a bunch of those people move into this blue collar force, and that's going to drive this industrial space even more. So the industrial warehouse space, all of that is going to be continually a hot market. And if you're looking for an investment, I encourage a lot of my multifamily investors that are looking for apartments, duplexes, triplexes to look into small bay industrial. That's like 10,000 square feet or under, like warehouse. Less maintenance. You have one toilet instead of four. You have, four basic walls with some electrical in it, maybe some industrial carpet and a desk. And you're getting the same rent that you would get for a single family home. So I would take a look at that and realize that these jobs are going to be shifting, and I don't know, use that to your advantage any way you can.
Well said, my friend. Well said. Okay, every free market principle is pointing to lower prices to come, but we no longer live in a free market capitalism. So we can fully expect more demand, subsidizing to try their best to keep prices high. Here's my thought. And like, there's always going to be people who have opinions on everything. And Video Guy Matt is always, he's like a disruptor coming in a good way. Video Guy Matt, I love your questions, by the way. I mean, I love your comments. They totally fuel thought. Here's what I'm going to say about our market in general. I'm going to go back to this. My thought in our market in Sacramento in general is this. I think that if we stay above 6, if we stay around here for the year, I think we're pretty much going to have a mimic of what happened last year. I think it's going to be kind of the same way it was last year. I think that if we dip and we get into the 5s, I don't know if we are. And like I said, I'm not calling it, but with Jerome Powell leaving May, with a bunch of like, media things or whatever, I mean, we could, right? So I think if we get into the 5s, I think what you're going to notice is demand is going to pick up, because we've seen it already. Like I said, right here, we saw it. I mean, literally just for a few days, it was like my phone was lighting up. My lenders were lighting up too. People are kind of waiting for something with a 5. And I think you're going to see the market kind of pick up again. I think it's just supply and demand. It's as basic as that. If all of a sudden demand comes back and all of a sudden we're in the high 5s and people are like, okay, let's go. It's time to buy. We love these. We're good to go. We could see prices go tick up a little bit. But for the most part, what everyone's saying is that we're going to be hovering around here or close to it in the 6s this year. And for me, like I said, I've called it from the very start. I think if that is the case and we are hovering in the 6s, 6.5s, maybe above it around there, I think it's probably going to be just like what we had last year. Corey, what do you think?
Yeah, I would go back to his question and say, like, what is the incentive of keeping prices high? Um, Keeping prices high, I don't see what the benefit is, of the capitalists of keeping prices high. You're eventually going to try to separate the classes of super rich and super poor, where somebody can't even afford the single family home and keep the economy alive. I feel like that just hurts the economy overall, and I don't think there's a true incentive and drive to keep prices high. I think that's just where the economy is, kind of on a natural basis of where we are. There is definitely influences on all different sides, political, non-political, that are influencing the market. But at the end of the day, the market is a free market. We have deals that, like I just talked about one on earlier on the show, that my client got a home that appraised $100,000 over the asking price. Those deals are still there in 2026. They are happening now. Did did we pay attention to the market? Did we analyze every property that we're coming on? Did we look for 2 months and analyze everything and pay attention to properties that were going pending and coming back on market? Yeah, we did the work, but those deals are still there. They can still be had. Um, I don't expect any sort of short price drops or steep price drops coming up in the near future. With the Fed chair change, I would expect with the pressure of the administration that's there and bringing in somebody new and wanting to make an impact, we will see a change in the interest rates because that new person coming in is going to want to make a name for themselves. And that I don't I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of sharp change as we go through that process. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this year, we are back at a similar range of interest rates that we are now. You know, low sixes, high fives, mid fives, somewhere in between there. With the Fed chair change, will we see like a 5.5 rate? Maybe below that. But I think we'll pretty much be consistent throughout. And going back to the other questions of, you know, are you waiting to time the market for the perfect price, perfect interest rate, all this stuff? If you try to time all of those things, you'll be sitting on the sidelines for years where you could be building equity in a home all of that time. That could be a perfect fit for you. But if you don't sit down with an agent that can break down those numbers in real life scenario, we will sit down and put down actual numbers, what your rent is, what the let's just pick a home off the market that you actually like. Talk to a lender. What would your actual payment be? We can put real numbers on paper and show you what that change would be. The cost of waiting now for 6 months, a year, 2 years, waiting for that unicorn property. So, yeah, I'll get off my soapbox now, but
No, no, you're right. And
that's kinda how I
a
feel.
question question I pose to the audience: would you rather wait for, let's say, the Fed chair to happen, and maybe we get 2 weeks of 5.5 interest rates, where you have to run out, grab a home, competition's
Mhm.
there because a lot of people have been waiting, or would you
Or is
rather
cheap,
look?
you're gonna spend more.
Would you rather look for a home now, and then, when rates are at 5.5, maybe they have, maybe they are, maybe they're not. We don't know. Would you rather just refi and say, hey, I'm going to refi? I already got my home. I had to suck it up for a few
Great
months,
point.
but there you go. I got a 5.5 and I'm good to go. And I'm not out there in that frenzy trying to find that one house in Folsom with a pool, 4 bedroom, 3 bath that everyone else is dying for. I got my house. I got a good deal on it. I'm good. I didn't like my rate, but I sucked it up for a few months, and all of a sudden we're in 5.5ville, and all of a sudden I'm refinancing, and life's a whole lot better because I don't have to panic, and I have to don't go out there, and I don't have to go above list and everything too. And for me, myself, I'd much rather do the refi and feel a little bit less pressure right now to find the house and just kind of go at my own pace, as opposed to know that there's maybe 2 or 3 weeks where the Fed chair changed. Rates are great. They're not going to last forever, as we all know that. I got to go out there, and now everyone else is out there in May of all time in our market. May, one of the most
Right, right.
crazy months in the Sacramento real estate market there is. So for me, I'm
Yeah.
just throwing it
That's where
out
you see
there.
all the over asking offers, yep.
Yeah, everyone's here. Everyone from the Bay is here. Everyone from LA is here. Everyone's looking for a house. And guess what? They're loving life that rates are down. So, just food for thought. All right, we got
Yeah,
this.
and
Be a registered nurse.
don't underestimate the cash buyers. Cash buyers, they don't care about interest rates. They see
Oh,
this adjustment of good prices, and they will come in and they will swoop that out from under you very quick. Those perfect properties that you're like, "Hey, we can do 50 grand over asking on this property." It won't matter if they're coming in all cash with almost no contingencies on it. You can't compete.
100%. All right, be a registered nurse. It'll never be replaced by AI. I know. We love our
True,
medical professionals. Absolutely, 100%. All right.
true.
Jason says, just want us to go back to pre-COVID prices, not even 2008 prices, just pre-COVID prices. I know, Jason, man, yes. Would you rather go back to pre-COVID prices or interest rates that were 2.75? Ooh, that's an interesting one.
Mm,
Do,
mm.
do, do, do. Okay.
I personally, I'll answer your question. I will go back to pre-COVID prices with a refi at COVID interest rates.
Boom, boom. All right. I like it. I like that. Works. All right. We're good. All right. When you said I would buy a house I fall in love with and refinance later, I think that's a smart play. For me, I mean, I just do. I'm telling you that. All right, we got video
Mhm.
guy Matt. I recommend everyone lowball right now. That's the way. Also, forget buy down incentives. Lower price is what you really want. Video guy Matt, I like your thinking. I'd say for a lot of people out there, you're looking at a price point and you're saying, "Man, I can't believe that the house is sitting there at that price. It's overpriced." Go low, man. Give it a shot. You might get you might get Heisman, but you also might get your offer accepted and you're like, whoa, I just happened. I mean, I'm kidding you. I kid you not. It happens for a bunch of our clients. Corey has had the same thing. It's like, I mean, even submitting the offer, I'm like, there's just no way they're going to take this. All right, we're going to have to look for another one. And lo and behold, we're in contract and my clients are super happy. And
Yeah, and I
right.
I would challenge that a little bit and say, lower prices are one thing, but if you get a credit back on your purchase where you don't have to come out of pocket with your own cash for, say, 20 grand of closing costs, that's 20 grand you get to go do remodels on your home. That's 20 grand you get to go pay down other debt. That's 20 grand you get to go do other things with that the seller's essentially paying for your closing costs. If you can conserve cash on a purchase, that is probably one of the most powerful. The price, most likely you're not going to live in the home for 30 years. Statistics and data show you're most likely not going to live in that home for 30 years. So your purchase price that you're paying the interest rate on is spanned over a 30-year term. If you can get 20 grand back now, save 20 grand now and be able to use that for other things in your life, you're most likely going to live in that house 7 to 15 years, what data shows. Then that's a huge win when you're purchasing.
I like it. I like it. You are right. All right, pre-COVID prices because I can buy with cash. Yeah, there you go. I'd rather go back to 2010 prices. Okay. I think 2010 might have it. But then you get the
I
double
go to
double hit when
1980 prices too. Yeah.
oh man, I know. Go to Grant Bay, Los Lagos and buy a house for like $600,000. All right,
The
pre-COVID
biggest
prices and
regret that I've
10%.
heard people say is the biggest regret that I've heard people say is, "Gosh, I wish I would have never sold that property 30 years ago," or, "Gosh, I wish I would have purchased that property 30 years ago." I've never
Oh
heard
yeah, yeah,
somebody
yeah,
say,
yeah.
"Gosh, I truly regret buying this property when I did and holding on to it for this amount of time." I've never heard that once.
Nope. 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 That's how real estate works, man. It is what it is. Our pre-COVID prices and 10% interest rates would be awesome. Oof, I'd like that. Oh, I wish we incentivized savings and not debt. I'll take 10% mortgage rates all day long, lower prices, better yield on savings. I like your thoughts, video guy Matt. All right, Corey, we're going to wind it up tonight. Give us your take. Why should people move to our amazing Sacramento metro area? Hit it.
Um, I'm just gonna hit some bullet points. Affordable, diverse, strong economy, future growth, tons of potential, resale value out the wazoo. It's gonna just only become a more desirable place to live, and it instantly provides at least in my experience, a better lifestyle than other places I've lived in California, and I don't think for the value price point and all those other things of a growing economy, diversity, you can get everything you want. You can travel to water, you can have snow, you can have all these major benefits. You can't get a better value in California.
There we go, man. I couldn't say it better myself. All right, guys, thank you so much. We are very privileged to have you guys join us on this live that we do every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. No teleprompters, no weird things or anything, too. This is the show that does it, man. I'm telling you, this is like the idea of going 2 hours, answering questions, trial by fire. This is what it's all about, guys. Corey and I are both realtors. We'd love to work with you too. If you guys are thinking about making the move, if you just want some questions answered, if you guys want contractors, if you want all that stuff, guys, we're here for you. Feel free to reach out, and we appreciate you guys tuning in. We got one more. Sacramento has fewer loony people than other parts of California. Ginger, you are rocking. That
100%.
is that is a
100%.
comment of the
And
night, man. Except
you
I
know,
don't know
and
though.
one
Two
thing
loony people going 2 hours on if on YouTube Live. I mean, that could add us to the loony character
exactly.
category, right?
Well, hey, one thing
Guys,
before we go, Mark, I
hit
want
it.
to thank you for bringing me on. I really appreciate you putting this on and bringing me on consistently. I truly appreciate it. I love working with you guys. Mark is one of the best people I've worked with in the industry. I can't say enough great things about him. He does so much for not only the real estate community here. He is collaborative. He works with all different agents, all of the good ones, I will say. And his channel is 100% pure. It's genuine. He's a great team to work with. And Mark, I just really appreciate you and giving me the opportunity to come on and be with you on here.
Well, here's the thing. I will tell you one thing about this channel and everything too, and hopefully you'll understand what I mean by this. I only bring on the best people on the show. I know everybody out there. I kid you not, realtors, lenders, everything too. Only
Yeah.
the best people that I look at and I say high integrity, good at what they do, and they're rock stars in this industry. I will invite on the show. And Corey, you're all of that and more, man. So I appreciate you.
Appreciate that. Appreciate
2 hours and we're done, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Smash the like button, comment, question. We appreciate you guys and understand that Corey and I are both in the service industry. We'd love to work with you guys and make your either buying or selling kind of like goal complete. We'd love to work with you. And other than that, guys, enjoy your evening. And that's it. Till the next video. Okay, guys,
you.
hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Buying and selling is stressful. I mean, there are definitely different avenues you can go in, and there's no guarantee. Every property is different, whether you're looking to buy it or sell it. So reach out to our team and we can talk to you a little bit about the pros and cons of selling currently, what your house is valued at, and all that stuff too. There's a link below to schedule a call. Now, if you're thinking about moving to the area, guys, reach out to our team as well. We're working with a lot of people relocating them to the Sacramento area. We absolutely love it. There's a Zoom link below. Set up a time where we can talk to you a little bit about what your needs are. Now, if you enjoyed this live broadcast, smash that like button. We would love to talk to you a little bit about Sacramento. I mean, we always are out and about. So if you're looking at places like El Dorado, Roseville, Rockland, Davis, we got you covered. Just reach out to us. And maybe you don't want to do a Zoom call, so just hit me at my phone number on the banner and we can talk a little Sacramento. Now, guys, one last thing before I go. There's a playlist right over there of other videos I've done about the Sacramento area. Knowledge is power. Those videos will help you kind of make a decision if Sacramento is that spot for you and you want to take it to the next stage. All right, guys, this is Mark. Have a good one. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Remember, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next video.